Tonight on the podcast, we're talking about The Rock being on the rocks with DC. DC tired of The Rock's always shooting his mouth off and pumping his own brand. We got some Marvel news, some Daredevil news, and so much more on this episode of the Absolute Geek Podcast. Let's go. It is Friday night in Phoenix, and you're locked in to the best damn podcast in all the land, the Absolute Geek Podcast. I'm Matt.
I'm JP.
And Lance has been holding up the show as he's having some sort of audio issues where he can't seem to find anything. I guess that's what happens when you have a room that's a gigantic mess like his is. What up to the chat? What's up, Joe's Doolin? What's up, Hartman? What is up, Lopez? Darth Lopez. What's good, JP? How are you this week? How's everything going?
I'm good. No complaints.
Everything's going good out in Pennsylvania land?
Yeah, no snow. It's cold, but no snow. How about you guys?
You guys didn't get hit by any of the snow that slammed into Buffalo a few weeks ago?
We got a little bit, maybe about, 6 inches or so. But, Buffalo got 7 feet. Yeah.
Oof.
But Buffalo got 7 feet, but if you were about, 10 miles south of Buffalo, you got nothing. So it was all the band that went along the Lake Erie. So it's crazy. So that time of year, though.
Yes, it is. So I hear you're going to what con are you going to this weekend? What con's out there?
I'm going to the Steel City Con. That's in Monroeville, east of Pittsburgh. So it's got a lot of celebrities at that show. None of them I'm going to see. I'm not a big fan of getting things signed or autographed or paying to meet, celebrities. But they got a pretty good list of the celebrities going to be there. It's pretty cool. Those people are going to be in my former hometown. I can bring up the list of people that are going to be there, and
yeah, let's see who's going to be there this week.
They do 3 cons a year, I think, 3 or 4. So they do a spring, a summer, and then a winter one. And they got Chevy Chase, Beverly D'Angelo, which is awesome, from Christmas Vacation. They were there last year at this time. I think they even have the station wagon that's going to be there, the green station wagon.
Gaten Matanzaro from Stranger Things, Elijah Wood. Oh, they got all the Lord of the Rings hobbits, huh?
Yeah. So they had panels. So they had a Lord of the Rings panel. They are going to have a, is it Aliens? Aliens panel, because and then they have a Karate Kid panel too. Nice. They got William Zabka and what's his name from, what's the older guy's name?
Martin Cove.
Yeah. Peyton List was supposed to be there, but she canceled. And then you got the 2 other guys at the bottom. The redhead with the drag, what was his name?
The guy who plays Hawk.
Yeah, Hawk.
And then the
Miguel.
Miguel, who's also going to be the Blue Beetle. That's cool.
Oh, he is.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. I didn't. Okay,
I heard about John Moxley.
Yeah, Paul Abdul, John Heater. They got Michael Bean and what's his
Michael
name?
Rosenbaum.
But yeah, they had
Paula Abdul. There you go. John Heater. Go get your Napoleon Dynamite stuff signed. Feature artist. John Russo. Yeah, Peyton List canceled. Tom Welling canceled. Ooh, Giancarlo Esposito canceled. No. Let's see. That's celebrities. What comic book artists are going to be there? Do they not have comic book artists there?
No, just those guys listed. They don't have big artists. They have other ones. If you look at like the vendor list, if they even show that, they might have some vendors there, but they would announce them if they're going to be.
Well, I'm surprised that they don't even have like really any big name artists there.
I don't know if they've had a big name artist there before, but they've been doing. I've been going these for 10 years at this particular spot.
How you gonna call yourself a pop culture con without comic book artists and all that stuff?
They will be there, but they'll have tables, but they're not going to list them. They're not going to be ones that it isn't going to be like Todd McFarlane or those guys, if that's what you mean. It's going to be, I hate to say it, but more smaller artists.
Well, yeah, like your local artists.
Yeah, they're selling pieces there. The coolest part about the show, and I'm sure this is like that way for every show, but they got a lot of cosplay people that really look real. I remember the first time I went there almost 10 or 11 years ago, someone dressed up. You can see them on the left there, the Star Killer Garrison. I was like, is this the real stormtroopers? Like, they look that real, like the costumes and everything. There's a guy dressed up like Chewbacca. And I took a picture of my wife and 4 kids with Chewbacca, and I posted on Facebook some years back. And one of her friends said, "Is that John in the costume?" She thought it was in a Chewbacca costume. I was like, "No, I'm taking a picture."
Yeah, Joe's Doolin says, "Crap for artists at Steel City. It's a large con, but heavy on celebrity, very light on comics, artists, and writers. I grew up 15 minutes from there. Nice."
Oh yeah.
Joseph said, "Yep, bring your Blue Beetle. Bring your Blue Beetle books to get signed."
And Joe, where are you 15 minutes? You south or west or east? Because you're right. That's where they did film Dawn of the Dead at the Moroseville Mall.
I said New Kingston.
New Kensington. Okay. Yep.
Or Kensington.
Yep. He's east like me. Yep. Is he going to the show?
He said he grew up there. I don't know if he's still there.
Stomach Jedi says Brian O'Halloran is at my buddy's home at my homie's bar tonight. He's gonna be in town tomorrow on my LCS. Pumped. Had to share. Nice, dude. That's what's up.
Do you already have his signature, Matt?
Yeah, yes. It's on almost.
Are you missing anybody?
The only one I'm missing is Caitlin because she passed away.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, of the main cast, of course. I'd love to get Walt Flanagan's signature on stuff since he was like everybody in Clerks. Be cool to have his signature on stuff, but
speaking of sure. Clerks, these all just came in the mail today.
Nice.
All these were like $6 at Best Buy.
Nice. Look at this guy.
Yeah. And I've got Mallrats coming in. I own them all on DVD. I just don't have them on Blu-ray. Uh-oh, we lost Matt. Uh-oh. We haven't trained for this.
I just said I didn't want to story and just left, I guess.
Did you hear what I said?
No, I didn't.
I was like, uh-oh, we lost Matt. We haven't trained for this.
No. I accidentally clicked the side button on my mouse and it closed out of everything.
But yeah, I own them all on DVD. I just didn't have them on Blu-ray, so I figured Clerks 3 came in, and I'm like, you know what? I might as well just start getting them all. The one I can't find is what's the one with no. What's the one with Liv Tyler and Ben Affleck?
Jersey Girl.
I can't find that one anywhere.
I have it on DVD.
What's the one with J-Lo?
That's Jersey Girl.
Jiglio, or what's it called?
Is J-Lo in Jersey Girl?
Yeah, she is. She is the mother who dies at the beginning of the movie.
It's been a long time since I've seen that movie.
Monroeville is actually where Monroeville is actually
where they filmed
Zach and Mary Make a Porno.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they filmed the Dairy Queen.
That's the other one I bought
as a kid. Yep.
Because Zach and Mary as well.
They called the Monroeville Rovers, and it's really the Gateway Gators was the name of my high school. So it's the Monroeville Rovers is how they named it there. But they filmed it in the Dairy Queen that I used to go to. It's pretty cool. They defiled that place. Good movie though.
Listen up, Monroe. Yeah, that's a good movie. It's one of my favorites.
It was cool to see it. I remember it was being filmed. I worked just down the road from there. They filmed that, and then they were filming Dark Knight just down in Pittsburgh between I think within a year or so of each other. So a lot of action going on down there.
Yoga hosers suck stumbling.
That's the other one I can't find. I bought Tusk, and I can't find Yoga Hosers.
I have Tusk on Blu-ray.
What's that was on sale for like $12. All of his movies were on sale this last weekend, so I just went fucking crazy.
You're just crazy, huh?
Now, will DVDs be worth something if they are still sealed, or do you open them?
Probably.
It's rare, but it depends on how. Like Dogma on DVD is worth nothing. Dogma on Blu-ray is worth a lot. So it just really depends on.
Dogma in general is worth a lot now because they can't reproduce it.
So, well, I have it on DVD. I think you can get it for like $20.
All I know is they can't redistribute it because Harvey Weinstein owns the rights to it, and Kevin told a story about it when I went to the road show about how he wrote a letter to Weinstein asking for it back and offered him like a nice chunk of change for it, and Harvey said no, he's not gonna do it. He's gonna keep that movie. So he can't.
Dogma on Amazon's only $10 DVD.
So it's
probably VHS is $60. The Blu-ray's $165.
Like if you go on eBay, 21, 24. Like if you're gonna get a Blu-ray of it, it's gonna be either bootlegged or from like overseas. It's not gonna be like $41 for the region unlocked Blu-ray of Dogma.
Wow.
Well,
some of those VHSs were selling for big bucks. If it was like Back to the Future, I saw one for $75,000.
Yeah, the VHS game it's an up and coming market that I haven't really dove into yet. I know there's a lot of people that are into the collecting of VHS.
There's some Disney movies. There's some Disney movies that are worth quite a bit.
Like that are on VHS. If they're still sealed, they're worth a good amount of money.
Yeah, I mean, when I go to antique stores or Goodwill and I see a sealed VHS, I'm going to grab it if it's something decent. But I get a ton of Disney movies. They're not sealed. Some of them might be. But I've tried to sell them, and there's not a whole lot of takers. So it's like key collector might say something's worth it's worth this amount.
It's very niche.
Yeah, if you go on eBay, there might be 10 of them, and you're not going to get your money for it. Or at least.
Well, the fact of the matter is, like, I've recently got really into vinyls, and a few of the record shops I've gone into, like cassettes have become a big thing, and cassettes and VHS are probably two of the worst ways that you can consume media, in my opinion. Like cassettes and VHS, anything running off that tape is awful.
Yeah.
So I don't know who in their right mind would be like, hey, I want to get this VHS and watch it on. No. There's nothing pure about watching it on a VHS. Now, if you had the film reel and you're watching on like a projector, like the original film reel, that makes sense to me. But a VHS or cassette is the worst way to consume media.
You know what your collection's missing, Lance?
You
need to get the Clerks the animated series.
Yeah. Is that pretty accessible?
Yeah,
I have it. I have it digital. It's on my Plex. You've seen it on my Plex, right?
Mm-hmm. It's pretty easy.
I have it. Yeah, I have it on my Plex.
Animated.
Yeah, it was only 6 episodes.
Yeah.
It was on ABC, and ABC canceled it after like the 6th episode because they didn't.
You know understand. What? I think that show now, like if Netflix went to Kevin Smith and be like, "Hey, we want you to do a Clerks animated TV show," I think it would do a lot better now.
He's tried. He's tried to push it on Hulu. He's tried to push it on Netflix, and everybody's passed on it.
But it's not really a show that shouldn't be on network TV. It should be on streaming so that you can.
A Jay and Silent Bob animated series, I think, would do really well. But then again, I'm a big fan. Matt's a big fan. JP, I don't know how big of a fan you are, but so in our minds, we're like, that would be the greatest thing ever. I don't know how big. I mean, his movies aren't breaking like records. You know,
no,
Clerks 3.
He's very much like got his core audience, and that's kind of where he sits. He doesn't like go above that core audience.
And the one time he tried to make a big budget thing was Cop Out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that did not do well.
The last one I saw that he made was Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. That was probably the last movie I've seen that he made.
You haven't seen Clerks 3 yet?
No.
You've seen, did you actually watch Zach and Mary Make a Porno?
Oh, yeah.
Kevin Smith made that.
Yeah.
And he made that, so you saw that he made that after Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, so.
Okay, yeah, then.
Oh, for a second,
maybe
I
by the time I found
about reboot for a second.
No, maybe by the time I found one of them, because I didn't see Zach and Mary when it came out. I think we rented it later on when I found that it was being filmed there and all that stuff. So
Zach and Mary's so funny.
Clerks 3 might be, besides Dogma, Clerks 3 might be my favorite movie he's ever made.
I like Dogma a lot. That was good. I wish I could.
Dogma's great. Dogma, if I'm not mistaken, Matt, was his biggest like box office success, wasn't it?
I think it's actually Chasing Amy.
Is it Chasing Amy?
Chasing Amy, I think it's his biggest movie and most well-received movie.
Dogma was pretty well received, though.
Dogma was surrounded in controversy. He was at a lot of rallies and opposite sides of the Westboro Baptist Church.
Yeah, because Alanis Morissette.
Well, just the whole movie in general, just the themes it dealt with, and
yeah,
the whole, like, there's a whole big story he tells about going to a protest. He went to protest the protesters at I think it's the not Venice, but one of the film festivals, big Cannes or something like that, big film festivals, that he got a bunch of people to make signs, and he went and protested the protesters at a showing of Dogma.
Yeah.
He actually did a podcast on one of his podcast episodes. He actually sits down with like the head dude of the Westboro Baptist Church's daughter, and they actually have like a really like interesting conversation. Like she used to like be like it kind of like she was, crazy hardcore into that realm, and then she's kind of come down to earth a little bit on it, and they had a very, very interesting conversation. So
Westboro is a bunch of, oh my gosh, dude.
You don't really hear about them anymore, so.
No. But they were like picketing military funerals and like just awful shit, dude.
Sounds familiar, but I must have missed that.
Yeah.
The other one, Chris Pratt. I don't hear it.
Chris Pratt got a lot of grief because he was part of another church that was shrouded in controversy because of their stance on homosexuality and stuff. It was Hillsong Church. That's why Chris Pratt gets a lot of hate, because he was part of Hillsong for a long time.
And you said they were against?
Yeah, they were pretty vocally against it.
Everyone makes their mistakes when they were young, right? Still hate them for it.
Yeah.
I mean, like yourself, you said Green Day was the best band of the 90s.
That's not what I said at all. That is not what
I
said.
You said it was say it again. It was the most influential band.
No, you what you said was you don't understand what their significant. You don't think they made any cultural
I don't
impact.
think they.
And I argued with you. Yes, they did. That's all I said.
You said they're the greatest band ever.
I did not.
I thought that Nirvana was a better significant band of the 90s of any change than.
And we
Green Day.
We didn't argue that point. But what you said is that Green Day made no cultural impact, and I said you are fucking crazy.
I don't think they did. I still stick with that. I still think Nirvana was more culturally significant.
You are, but that's not my argument. I agree with you, but what I don't agree with is you saying Green Day has no cultural impact. Matt, help me out here.
I'm staying out of this one.
They didn't have any cultural significance.
Call me foo-foo because this one's between you two. I'm good.
Check out what I made today. You like?
Nice.
That's gonna be our new profile picture for Facebook.
Is that Samurai Santa from Jim Lee? Did he draw that?
No, I
Yep,
drew
was
it on
sure
my
did.
iPad.
Yeah, well, that's pretty sweet.
But
Yeah.
Well,
Hartman says, "LOL, Green Day does have impact more than
Yeah.
Offspring."
JP is the only person I know that would say Green Day has no cultural impact, unless you're 60.
I just remember whenever it was glam rock and one hit wonders, and all of a sudden Nirvana came out and it changed. And I'm saying, and where I live, that's where it changed. And you're saying that Green Day was just significant. I think they were. I mean, Pearl Jam was significant too, right? So Green Day in their own
Not
way,
like Green
Nirvana
Day.
changed. In my opinion, Nirvana changed the whole dynamic. That's why we have.
Pearl Jam can't even hold a candle to the significance of Green Day.
I'm saying, but they were still significant. But I don't think they were as significant as Nirvana in regard to Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, the rest of the grunge stuff, grunge sound. I'm just saying that it's like you flipped the switch and went from one style of music to a new style, just that overnight. And Green Day was part of it, but they weren't the catalyst, in my opinion, or from what I recall, that changed that.
Joe's Dylan says Green Day was for kids who didn't listen to real punk.
Like Sex
Joe's
Pistols.
Doolin. I listen
No
to
Effects.
I listen to Green Day, but I also listen to No Effects, Black Flag, Dead Kennedys, Dead Milkmen, Fugazi.
But it's like saying that Nickelback is a good rock band better than Nirvana. They're not. They might have significance in Canada, but they don't have significance here. Nickelback. They were a good band, but Green Day is too, but they're like a tuned down version of good punk music, in my opinion.
Green Day brought punk into the mainstream. No one else really had ever, like, not even Ramones was as mainstream as what Green Day became. I mean, they use Green Day songs in fucking commercials back then.
True. But then is it really punk if it's green? You know
no,
what I mean? Like,
it's pop punk, and then the punk in pop punk is very loosely
Hanson. Like,
yeah, the whole thing with punk is the anti-establishment part, right?
Right.
And then you completely negate that by saying pop, because the word pop stands for popular, right?
Correct.
That's what pop stands for. So when you say popular anti-establishment, that's an oxymoron, right?
Right.
So the punk term is just it doesn't adequately describe them. Now, if you listen to 1039 Smooth or Kaplunk, that is much more punk than Dookie or anything else.
Well, like look at Metallica. The Black Album and every album since then became more commercialized.
And Hartman, your 3 to 4 chords comment, same as grunge. Grunge is not difficult to play. Go play Smells Like Teen Spirit. Probably the easiest song that you can learn. I think,
but it's the hardest song to do the lyrics, though, because I have no idea what he's saying still to this day.
Oh yeah, as far as what he's saying, but grunge is the same. So that's a moot point.
And every hard rock song is just some riff off of Boston for the most part. So
Sum 41's legit sticks. I love Sum 41.
You would.
Sum 41. That is. I've been to a lot of concerts. Sum 41 is the best live band I've ever seen in my life. Ever.
You would.
I'd have to say Garth Brooks is the best live band.
Garth Brooks is awesome because he fucking tells you like life stories the whole time.
Yeah, and he runs around that stage. He's a big dude, and he runs around that stage like a marathon guy.
Yeah.
Elton John.
Yeah, dude, I'm bummed that I didn't get to go to that. I saw you guys went to that, you and Aaron.
Yeah, you didn't miss anything.
Elton John.
I thought you were all like you were saying it was fucking awesome.
I never said it was fucking awesome. I thought it was.
Aaron did.
It was fun, but like the audio there, it was at Chase Field. The audio sucked, and we were right in front of a speaker. The audio sucked. Like I don't know. It was he didn't. He played his hits, but he doesn't do anything. He just kind of stands up and points around, and then goes to playing his next song. And like the biggest thing he does. I mean, I understand he's 70 some years old, but like the biggest thing he does is change his jacket And it's like, oh, okay.
Wardrobe
Sweet.
change.
Yeah.
They bedazzle him in the backstage while he's out there.
I absolutely fucking hate anytime I've seen a stadium concert. It's not what they're made for. Anytime I've seen a concert at a football stadium, at a baseball stadium, at a basketball stadium, it is the absolute fucking worst. Like, there's a reason venues are built the way they are. Like, you go to Dodge, it's not called Dodge Theater anymore, but you know which one I'm talking about, right, Matt? In downtown Phoenix. Like, it's made like a fucking, like a concert hall, right? It's huge, and it seats a shit ton of people. But fucking stadium concerts suck ass.
Is it better if they're in a dome or any better there?
No. If you've been to like that's why a lot of the best shows I've been to are like old opera halls that they've converted into music venues. Because the way we have a venue here called the Van Buren, which could be a cool venue, but the whole roof is metal, so it sounds all tinny and stuff. And it's awful. Like, I went and saw fucking Falling in Reverse there, and normally an amazing band live, and because of that building, they just you couldn't understand what was going on. But we have another one called the Crescent Ballroom, and I fucking love that place.
Yeah, there's a few downtown Pittsburgh like that are built for stage AE, whatnot, for outdoor bands. But come this time of year, no more bands play unless they're in the Civic Arena or in the Igloo. What's it called? PPG Paints. So
one of my dreams is to go see a show at the Red Rocks in Colorado.
Which part of
Colorado?
Colorado?
The Red Rocks. So Bill Burr just did a comedy special at the Red Rocks, and it's basically an amphitheater that's built into the mountain, and it's Red Rocks. It kind of looks like Sedona, and it's all outdoors. It's in the fucking canyon. It just looks incredible.
There you go. Nice. The Metropole. They played 80s music there all the time. The Metropole. But that would be cool at Scenic. We have a stage AE is off the river. That's not as cool as in a rock in a mountain. That would be sweet.
Dude, it looks legit, man. Like, I want to see a show there badly.
How far is it for you guys to get Colorado?
It's in Denver, I think. It's about 12 hours, I think.
Oh.
We drove, Max and I drove there to see Bayside and Thrice back around Father's Day. And that was fucking awesome. That venue was cool too. But Colorado just has a cool vibe, man. Like Denver, downtown Denver, just has a cool vibe.
You know what else has a cool vibe?
Huh?
I'll tell you what else has a cool vibe.
Geek news.
Yes, geek news.
Great
Geek
transition.
news. Fuck yeah, it's geek news.
It is, and we buckle your seatbelts because we got a whole bunch of DC news. As DC is reportedly unhappy with
I
Dwayne
love that picture.
Johnson.
I had the same fanny pack.
Hyping Henry Cavill's Superman return. In the run-up to the premiere of The Black Adam, and for some time after its release, star Dwayne Johnson consistently teased the return of Henry Cavill as the DC Universe's Superman. There are some who may be disappointed with that. According to The Hollywood Reporter, citing multiple sources, the new management at the recently rebranded DC Studios is not happy with Johnson's focus on Superman's return or the actor's habit of hyping up his own involvement in the shape of the franchise going forward. Something tells me because they're not going to go forward with him.
Too bad. That was a great movie.
Which also leads into
Are you being
Dwayne
serious?
Johnson.
It was a good movie, but I mean, it like we talked about before. There's really no direction now, so they have these movies that are slated to come out that will have no significance on the future of what they're building now. So scrap it all and start over. But I
I think James Gunn is going to fix a lot of that. I think we're going to be getting a lot of, because they've been canceling it. Like, apparently Black Adam 2 was greenlit before Black Adam 1 even ever came out, and now that, I mean, we're going to talk about that more, but now that
let's
may
get
not
into it now.
happen.
So, Dwayne Johnson's persistent pursuit of bringing Black Adam to the screen might suffice to bring DC characters back for a sequel. According to the Hollywood Reporter, the number of the first film did not add up to guarantee a second. The movie has only grossed $383 million worldwide against a budget that might be anywhere between $190 million to $230 million before marketing, according to different sources. As a common rule of thumb, a mainstream Hollywood production is considered to need to earn triple its budget before making a profit. Applying this rule, Black Adam is likely to break even when figuring in ancillary revenues from home viewing and merchandising. Should the movie end up making a minimal profit, experts still see little chance of a sequel, as follow-ups usually come at a higher production cost than their predecessors. Which this is an interesting story because we have a lot of conflicting information out there as far as Black Adam and how much the movie has actually made. Because there's stories like, if you go to Comic Book Resources and a lot of other outlets that are saying this movie is set to lose $100 million. And The Rock's coming out and talking about how profitable the movie, how big the movie is, how great the movie is, how the movie is a success. And I think that's where DC's coming from, being like, dude, you need to shut up. Quit trying to overhype this. Quit trying to be your own hype man. Quit trying to hype up your numbers because it's not looking good, because there's so much conflicting information out there. And I mean, right now, if we're getting a word right from a Hollywood, production insider that's saying for a movie to be considered profitable, it has to make triple of its the budget it was to make the movie. That's insanity.
Yeah, I thought it was double the budget, but triple. Jeez, that's hard for any movie.
Because going into that, it says there's some snarking going on out there that Black Adam is poised to lose 50 to 100 million, and that is simply just not true. Deadline's film finance sources, meaning people who do this for a living, and those close to the film, say this movie is bound to break even and be in the blacks. With a global grossing of 390 million, 195 million production costs, and a P&A spent between 80 million to 100 million, that's advertising. The Dwayne Johnson DC New Line film is looking to net between 52 to 72 million dollars. Also not including in the amount is the extra source of cash from Black Adam's merchandising. All this, including a B+ cinema score, is good enough for Black Adam to be a franchise starter. The first Captain America made $370 million worldwide. Black Adam repped Johnson's biggest solo opening stateside at $67 million, clearly one of the financial models that Warner Brothers had in mind when it was strategizing the P&L on this film. In a very dry fall market without any tentpole due to the post-production logjam created by COVID, Black Adam was the biggest movie of the season, notching number one for 3 weeks in a row around the world before Disney and Marvel Studios' Black Panther Wakanda Forever arrived. I've read the claims of
biggest of the season, not of the year.
Well,
because that goes to Top Gun, right?
I've read the claims that Black Adam will lose money. That is false, exclaimed producer and financier Joe Singer, who deals greatly in motion picture slates financing. The picture may be considered disappointing since it had Dwayne Johnson in the DC film. However, the picture will pass, break even, and throw off a bit of profit. So even then, it still not sound like it's going to be some like gigantic blockbuster profitable movie like the likes of most Marvel movies and Endgame, but it doesn't sound like it's going to be a total loss. But obviously, it's not generating the revenue they would like to see to bring it back for a sequel. Plus, I'm sure the fact that James Gunn in that whole new regime wants to change everything is going to greatly affect moving forward how they view all their initial plans, everything that's going on right now.
I have a feeling that James Gunn's approach going forward, and this is where The Rock kind of doesn't fit that approach, is no one actor can be bigger than DC. Does that make sense? So like The Rock is a huge name. He's a household name, right? Pretty much everybody knows who Dwayne Johnson is, at least in the States. I'm not sure about overseas, but his name is bigger than what the DC film franchise is right now. And if you build your whole franchise over one actor whose name is bigger than your franchise and that actor leaves, it could cripple the franchise. I think we're seeing a lot of that right now with Robert Downey Jr. leaving leaving Marvel, because even those numbers haven't been up to snuff of what it was before Endgame. Wouldn't you agree? I mean, Spider-Man excluded, because Spider-Man did something new that hadn't been done.
I think Marvel's situation isn't necessarily Robert Downey Jr., because I think Robert Downey Jr., although Marvel and Robert Downey Jr. go hand in hand, because the Marvel brand kind of revitalized Robert Downey Jr.'s career, gave him a second chance, gave him a career to even, an opportunity to even have a career today after he basically snorted it all away in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the problem with Marvel is they spent 10 years, right? They spent 10 years working up to Thanos. They had a roadmap. They had an end game. They had an end game they wanted to reach. And basically they had the beginning and the end, and they just had to get there and make everything coherent and work. And it doesn't feel like they have that since Endgame. Like
they could if they just. I think Kang was a bad choice. I think it should have been Dr. Doom.
I think Kang was a great choice, but Kang should be, with the way he manipulates the time and the multiverse and the time streams and what Kang is, he should have been appearing in every. You should have saw a different form of Kang, or you should have seen some sort of event spinning out of Loki at the end credit of every movie. Their end credits aren't coherent and cohesive like they used to be. Their end credits aren't spilling into the next movie like they used to. They're not really setting up the next. They might be setting up the next movie in that specific franchise, but they're not setting up the next Marvel Studios movie. So,
well, I've made that argument before as well.
But you see, they used to roll into each other, and now they don't really do that anymore. And
I feel like in the first three phases, everything kind of fed into the other, right? It was all connected in some way. And I've made this comment on this show before, where right now nothing feels connected. It all feels disconnected, right? Because now they're trying to introduce the cosmic side, the time side, and the multiverse side. Like, it's three different conflicting themes going on, three different stories going on at the same time. And we have yet to see, like, what did She-Hulk do for the overarching story other than just introduce She-Hulk? What did Moon Knight do for the, what's that?
They brought us twerking. Yeah.
What did Moon Knight do for the overarching story of Marvel Universe? What did
so we see a lot of hate on She-Hulk. Let's step back here. What is some criticisms we've seen and heard from big time directors like Martin Scorsese specifically about the MCU? They're like, you think these characters would be having sex, these characters would be having relationships. There's no character growth here. And that's what She-Hulk gave us. She-Hulk was, to me, when you rewatch She-Hulk, it's kind of like that direct response to that, being like, all right, you want to see more relationships and you want to see these characters have more relationships and grow and have sex and have more adult themes. And
they made an Ally McBeal
situations.
Type show.
Yeah. Real situations. We'll give you, a superhero that sleeps around and just wants to chase dick. And that's exactly what she was. She was a superhero that slept around and wanted to chase dick. And that's okay. That's great. No, almost every movie
you can make that story. Most every movie write it
you
better.
You see the woman taking the walk of shame. And in this one, you got the man taking the walk of shame.
Daredevil, nonetheless. Man. Daredevil, the blind guy.
It's just.
I agree with you, Matt, but at the same time, the part where She-Hulk could have done that well, but unfortunately it was poor writing and it was an incohesive story. the 7 episodes or however many it was. It felt like every episode was supposed to be this trial of the week type CW type stuff, the monster of the week type stuff, but it was the trial of the week or whatever. She was touted to be this big time lawyer. You barely ever saw her in a courtroom. Yeah. It was touted that we were going to get, Hulk was going to be a primary focus of, going to be a co-star in this show. He was in the first and last episode? Maybe one in between there somewhere.
He was in the first two. I want to say he was in episode 1 and 2, and then she tried to call him, and he was going back to Sakaar. So he was in a couple of them, but not anywhere near like.
And then they told us Daredevil was going to be in it pretty early, and then you had to wait till episode 5 or 6 before you finally got Daredevil.
Yeah,
it just felt like
ending.
Yeah,
the ending
the ending could have been so cool too. That whole jumping through, the third wall and meeting Kevin and stuff. It could have been a cool idea, except it was executed poorly.
So
but
that's why
I argued the same thing with Moon Knight. Moon Knight could have been a cool idea, and they executed it poorly.
I think that's why you heard and saw too that while we were off last week, one of the biggest news stories that came out was that now that Bob Iger is back, Marvel has said we're going to take a step back and we're going to focus more on quality over quantity, and we're going to take a hard look at phase 5 and 6, and there's going to be some moving around. There's going to be some additions, some subtractions, and maybe just straight up cancellations. So I think really the backlash of phase 4 has really finally started to set in, and they're seeing, phase 4, we're not hitting home runs like we used to, and they're going to step back and refocus and re-engage. And I think
so. Are they
someone said it. I want to say
Chapek or whatever.
Who said that? Someone in the chat said it. I think it was either Hartman or Joe's Doolin said that they think that Ant-Man. Joe's Doolin said it. I think phase 5 will start a large story arc starting with Ant-Man. And I agree. I think Ant-Man Quantumania is going to kick off a lot of stuff with Kang, and it's going to lead to the Kang dynasty. So I think you're going to start seeing those after credit scenes start connecting again. You're going to get that pre-Infinity War Endgame Marvel feel back that phase 4 has been lacking.
Do you think, because we haven't got any sort of announcement with Shang-Chi, right?
There's not been a Shang-Chi.
No, but I
speculated to be a phase 6 movie.
But the director has just been tapped to do the Kang Dynasty, right?
The director was tapped to do Kang Dynasty, yes.
I'm kind of surprised that Shang-Chi is not a bigger part of this whole thing as well.
He will be. It's supposed to be Shang-Chi, the new Black Panther. What's her name? Shuri. And there's a third one, and the new Captain America, Falcon, is going to be the 3.
Well, I think Ant-Man's going to play a big role in it too.
They're naming those 3 are supposed to be the main protagonists against Kang, and that's the thing I'm thinking about is we build up to Endgame, and we had all these powerful superheroes to get to fight Thanos. Who do you have now besides She-Hulk that has any? Until you get Silver Surfer and Fantastic Four and Thor and some of those cosmic warlock, you have nobody that can stack up to Kang. Ant-Man can't, right? So I'm sure he'll beat him in the story in the movie, but really in all points, they're not that level. So they need to build up to that character. They don't have anybody right now, in my opinion, unless I'm missing something.
I think that's. I agree with you, JP. I think we're missing that big, because before it was teasing Captain Marvel, and then you had Captain America, Thor, right? You had these larger than life characters, and who really feels larger than life now? Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah, there's nobody that even when it comes to cosmic entities that can face Kang on their own. Like Captain Marvel could have beat Thanos on her own, and so could have Thor. It's in theory, but they needed the whole team to do it. You don't have a good cosmic team that has we got a lot of street level people right now. A lot of people
there was
good.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, buddy.
That's all right. No, that's street
No,
level,
keep
just like
saying what you were saying.
Spider-Man, Daredevil, those type of people that would be more, fighting robbers and, jewelry thieves and stuff like that, which can be cool Disney Plus movies and cool movies that I'll definitely go see. But there's really no big name. So we need Silver Surfer or someone like to that extent.
I think you're gonna get. I think Marvel is gonna get revitalized a little bit when we start to finally see the X-Men.
Yeah, but that's not going to be till 2025, 2026.
But Fantastic Four too. Like I think right now, like they kind of put Thor through the ringer. So I don't think Thor is the big draw that he used to be because of this latest movie. But right now, the biggest name in the Marvel universe, you could probably argue, is Ant-Man and Tom Holland, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
People are itching to see X-Men, Fantastic Four. We're itching to see Ryan Reynolds return as Deadpool. But nobody's really excited about the Marvels movie. Nobody's really excited about the Falcon or the Captain America movie. No one's really excited about fucking
Thunderbolts.
What's another one that's coming out?
Thunderbolts. I'm stoked for Thunderbolts.
Yeah, but it's not the same. It's not the same excitement that's attached to, like, Black Panther. We saw it, right? There was a little bit of excitement for Black Panther. Ant-Man, I feel excited about Ant-Man. There was excitement for Civil War and the Captain America movies and the Iron Man movies. But what right now is generating that excitement?
I think Guardians and Ant-Man are two that can catapult.
Well, I hope on Guardians, man, because that holiday special was shit.
Yeah, but it was funny though. It laid some groundwork, but
what do you mean it brought Kevin Bacon into the MCU?
Now the
Kevin
6 degrees
is
Kevin Bacon,
made, man. Yeah, it didn't need to be made.
Kevin Bacon, now the 6 degrees are I don't think you could ever lose that game ever because
if you watch the trailer for Guardians, there's a lot of reason. There's a lot of the holiday special that propels you into Guardians 3.
Maybe it might be better once I see Guardians.
I really
3.
think that holiday special was all shit that he filmed for Guardians 3 and he couldn't fit it to make it make sense. So he just did it like as a special, so that they bought nowhere and what they're doing after they leave Thor in Love and Thunder, and then it goes from there. Like it really felt to me like the holiday special was just that. Like it was all just shit he filmed for Guardians 3 that just didn't fit.
Could be. That makes sense.
I just want I want to feel like excited about going to see a Marvel movie, and I haven't.
You might want to take that up with your wife then if you're not feeling excited.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, kids Marvel movies, like there was so much excitement around Spider-Man, and I don't know if I've felt that since when it comes to a Marvel movie. Like I didn't have that, anticipation for a movie since. Like not even Doctor Strange did that.
Well, they can't all be bangers, man. You're gonna have some movies,
but I feel like the first 3 phases, like every movie that came out, is like I'm so fucking excited to see this. And now I think because we get so much TV shows, special presentations, movies, we get so much that I agree with that quality over quantity comment that you made, right?
Yeah,
I agree with that because right now I feel like we're almost inundated by all these properties coming out from Marvel that the things that are supposed to be to get us excited and things that we're supposed to anticipate kind of lose their luster a little bit.
Well, speaking of losing its luster, Wonder Woman 3 not moving forward to DC. And this has caused a huge controversy as well. There's just so much controversy around DC this week. According to the Hollywood Reporter,
kind of shocked me a little bit.
Multiple sources state that director Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman 3 is dead and in its current form. This news comes ahead of the new DC Studios boss James Gunn and Pete Safran's pivotal presentation to Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav regarding their multi-year plan for the DCU. which is expected to take place next week. A report by The Wire cites sources familiar with the situation, alleging that the surprise cancellation of Gal Gadot's next film as the superpowered Amazonian was due to creative differences. When Wonder Woman's franchise director Patty Jenkins submitted her treatment for the third installment to Warner Brothers Film Group, and co-chairperson CEO Michael DeLuca and Pamela Abdi, the duo found her treatment to be inadequate and chose not to move forward with the project. While Gunn and Safran agreed about Jenkins' treatment issues, the DC studio CEO did not make the call to pull the plug on the threequel. According to one insider, Jenkins refused to let DeLuca and Abdi know that they were wrong, and they didn't understand her, didn't understand the character, didn't understand the character's arc, and didn't understand what Jenkins was trying to do. To underscore her point, according to the first insider, Jenkins sent an email to DeLuca that ended with a link to the Wikipedia definition of character arc. Jenkins was told that if she wanted to come back and pitch a different direction for Wonder Woman, the studios would hear it. She stood firm in her vision and responded that if they didn't want to do her treatment, she wasn't going to do a different one and would instead just move on to her next film. Jenkins especially didn't want to hear what newly installed DC chief James Gunn and Safran had to say, even though they had nothing to do with the decision to not move forward with her version of Wonder Woman 3. She just didn't want to allow them to have the seat at the table to have an opinion on something new that she might come up with, and the insider added. So
it sounds like Patty Jenkins doesn't know how to play in the sandbox. Because I think everybody would agree that Wonder Woman 1984 was not good.
No, it was not.
And I think that's what the whole we don't like your we don't agree with your treatment here is that they felt like she was way off, and she's like, nah, I'm not, you're way off,
But don't you feel like and I'm sorry, I don't know the term for this in a female standpoint, but Wonder Woman 1984 feel like they demasculated the character of Wonder Woman. Like in the first Wonder Woman, I don't know what the female version of that term, but
just call it
the first Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman felt so strong and powerful and like true to her conviction, and she don't need no man to get the shit done, right? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, she was heartbroken about Steve. Is his name Steve?
I think
Rogers.
so, yeah.
Steve Rogers is somebody else, JP. So it made Wonder Woman did everything with a female character that we wish Captain Marvel did, right? Like as far as making her believable, as far as her power, right? And her abilities. And then Wonder Woman 1984 felt like it turned her into a big puddle, right? As soon as Chris Pine comes back, she is
pining over him again.
Pining, yeah, good pun. But you know what I'm saying? Like, and then as much as we all love Pedro Pascal, he felt like a watered down version of like Trump. Essentially, like they tried to turn him into like a parody of Trump, which I think can be done well. It's just it didn't feel like it was done well in this movie. Like he was not believable as a villain. The whole movie was just not good. So if her third treatment for Wonder Woman was anything like 1984 and not at all like the first Wonder Woman, I could completely understand how somebody could be like, this is not good. I feel like she doesn't understand character arc because they basically did the same thing that they did with Thor, is they built her up to be this strong, powerful character. And then in Thor as well, they cheapened it, right? They made him less imposing. They made him less believable as a leading character. They took everything that you love about the character and completely shat on it. And
Well, I think it's
I feel like that's Wonder Woman did.
Well, to your point, with Thor and Wonder Woman, is they made the character so overpowered. Even Captain Marvel, they made the character so overpowered that she's just blah.
She's Superman without the kryptonite.
Yeah, she's so overpowered that she's just boring. And that's what Thor was. So overpowered that he was just boring. So you have to, they had to find a way to give her a weakness and kind of depower her a little bit, and in doing so making, you know, Steve Trevor her Achilles heel, to so to speak, and to depower her and to give her a little bit more of a softness instead of being so hard. They really didn't, they didn't do that in the right tone. They didn't depower her the right way, making her fall head over heels.
Kind of bored. I think we're all kind of bored of seeing the woman where her weakness is her man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Aren't we all bored of that?
That's why I'm hoping the way they depower Captain Marvel is by having Rogue take her powers.
Yeah,
sweet.
I feel like Wonder Woman, and maybe this isn't the right view for her, but I feel like in the first movie that you did feel some weakness in her, and her weakness was almost the fact that she cared so much. Like her heart was her weakness, right? Like she put herself in situations, like risky situations, for the sake of saving somebody. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing at all, to have a big heart for other people. And in the second movie, it was Steve Trevor was her weakness. And I think we've all seen that movie before, where you have, you know, think of every movie where it starts out with this woman, she's deep in her career, like she's a lawyer, or you know, any Katherine Heigl movie, right? They're deep in their career, and they're a pillar in their career, and then they meet a guy and they become a fucking mess. That's what Wonder Woman 1984. Wonder Woman.
Watch Hallmark. There's a whole channel of them out there right now.
Right. That's Wonder Woman 1984. It was a cheap rom-com. You know, not to cheapen it any more than it is, but it was a cheap Katherine Heigl movie, or an expensive Katherine Heigl movie, depending on how you fucking look at it. But it's every. I'm trying to think of a movie that my wife and I feel like we just watched one where it was a strong, powerful woman, and then she meets somebody and just completely falls apart.
But Wonder Woman 3 was not the only movie to get the chop from DC. It sounds like Man of Steel 2 is in doubt now as well. Henry Cavill's Superman may be sitting on the sidelines a little longer, if not indefinitely, as the new report suggests that the sequel to Man of Steel might not be part of James Gunn and Pete Safran's developing plans for the DC universe, ahead of Gunn and Safran's forthcoming meeting with Warner Brothers Discovery. And the CEO, David Zaslav, about the future of the DC. The Hollywood Reporter suggests that one scenario sees shutting down Man of Steel 2. According to the outlet sources, Cavill filmed a cameo for DC's studio's upcoming Flash movie back in September, but there is a debate inside the studio as to whether or not to keep the cameo, and if its inclusion promises something that the studio would have no plans of delivering on. These sources also claim that the Flash remains an unlocked picture, despite previously reports in October, a month after Cavill allegedly shot his cameo, that suggests that Ezra Miller-led standalone feature had locked its final cut.
So, if it comes out that DC once again is giving Henry Cavill the boot, this dude better not pick up another phone call from Warner Brothers.
Hell no. He better come right.
Because this dude has been shit on way too many times. Like, honestly, has anybody, like, Henry Cavill's career is so fucking interesting. He becomes the most iconic superhero of all time, right? In Superman. And then has a pretty decent movie. Then gets into The Witcher, where Netflix makes him sign a contract that he's not going to do any other properties except The Witcher while he's doing The Witcher. And the DC somehow gets him to come back, you know, much through The Rock. You could argue that the Rock is a big reason why Henry Cavill came back. With it seemed like the promise to get another movie made, and now they're going to give him the boot again. This dude better never pick up the phone for Warner Brothers ever again.
I don't think they're going to give him the boot. I think you're going to see him in a Superman movie again, but it's not going to be Man of Steel 2. I think what's happening is DC I think that's why you're seeing them scrap so much, because they're trying to get away from the Snyderverse. They want to get away from everything that has to do with the Snyderverse. So I think that's why they're gonna let the Flash go, because that movie's already so far and it's testing so well. They're gonna let Shazam go because it's already too far along. I think that's why they already canceled Batgirl. That's why I think they're going to let Blue Beetle go, because I think they might try to start something new with Blue Beetle, or it might just fit into their standalone universe like the Batman or Joker does. But yeah, I think they're going to reboot everything. And granted, when you're hearing these cancellations, you're not hearing Gal Gadot is not going to be Wonder Woman again. Henry Cavill is not going to be Superman again.
She did put out on Twitter that she's excited for her next chapter. Almost
the day before.
Gal Gadot, the day before, that Gal Gadot is putting an ending to that book.
She might be trying to do that to force DC's hand, being like, if you're not going to make this with this director, I'm not going to be a part of it.
Well, they're also, I don't know if you put it in here, but I'm just going to say it. There's also talk that Jason Momoa may no longer be Aquaman and he might be Lobo.
Yes. I like that.
So it sounds like that they're just going to completely reboot the whole thing. And the Flash might be a good opportunity to do that. I mean, if with they're adapting the Flashpoint story, the ending of Flash could be that big bang, right, if you will. That could reboot this whole thing and make everything that happened before the Flash, before the ending of the Flash, everything that's happened might just be a different universe. It could be their new 52, if you will.
Yeah, but I think that's what you're going to see is that they're saying Man of Steel 2 is going to be shelved, but I think it's because they're not going to move forward with those Zack Snyder properties. You're going to see Henry Cavill Superman again, but it's not going to be Man of Steel 2. It'll be a different titled movie.
But don't you think that leads to
separate
consumer confusion?
No.
By not recasting him?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think it's going to lead to any? Because I think general public's not going to understand, like, oh, this is a reboot, but it's with the same dude.
I didn't. Whenever Batman Begins, I didn't even see that in the theaters. But when The Dark Knight came out and I heard about it and talked with it about a colleague of mine, and he said that the Joker's in it, and I had followed comics all my life, but I got out of it, for a period of time, and I said, well, how does that mesh with the original movie with Michael Keaton? He's like, oh, this is a whole new thing, and I just couldn't grasp it. They won't cohesive stories, and now that I'm back into it, it makes more sense to me. But I think that's a good point to bring up, is that how will the general audience feel about, they just saw Superman in the Black Adam movie because they went to see The Rock and they got to Superman, and then if they recast them, that'll throw things off, or they do something a little bit different than that, it'll throw things off. But I think it just depends on how you do the magic.
I think recasting him would throw things off, but just moving to a different, being like, all right, this is a Man of Steel, this is just, Superman, or, getting away from the Snyderverse stuff, not even acknowledging it anymore, and moving forward to what you're trying to build to. I don't think it'll cause consumer confusion at all. I think it's the right way to go.
Right, as long as they leave Cavill, it won't be as confusing as if they recast. Because I said, why do they need a new Batman? What was wrong with? I didn't get that. But again, why did you bring him back in Black Adam to not have him again coming forward? You set the whole tone right there.
But do you think that's part of the reason why? Do you think that's part of the reason why Black Adam maybe didn't perform as well as it could have? Is because people already know that this thing is a dumpster fire?
I mean, I went to see it because I wanted to see that end credit scene, and I want to see how they did that. And I wanted to see Dr. Fate, and I wanted to see Hawkman. I thought that was pretty cool. I could have cared less about Black Adam, but I thought, okay, DC has done a good job. At least James Gunn has done a good job with taking these off the wall characters that no one cared about, taking dark characters and doing something with them. And I thought, okay, this might be a new way to start the new storyline, because they've been scrapping things right and left. And now they're just, it's like a snowball rolling downhill. More stuff's getting scrapped as they roll down. And I think it's overall a good move for James Gunn and the other co-CEO to scrap things and start over. But I wouldn't recast by any stretch, and try to keep some cohesiveness or some way that you're going to turn this off, like you said, one universe over another.
That's exactly the word. So like you said, try to keep some cohesiveness. Everything is telling me that they don't want any cohesiveness with.
But if they do it like but you're having Ezra Miller, you have Michael Keaton, you were supposed to bring back Ben Affleck, and then if you make it a whole new universe, then you can make, bring Lobo, what's his name?
Jason Momoa.
Jason Momoa, and make him Lobo now. And
so you don't think that by taking Jason Momoa and making him Lobo, but keeping Henry Cavill as Superman, you don't think that's going to cause any consumer confusion?
I hate
Wait, Aquaman's Lobo now, but Henry Cavill's still the same?
Yeah, that's a good point, but I think it's almost
like it just seems conflicting. It seems like conflicting ideas, right? Let's recast Jason Momoa as something else, but let's keep Henry Cavill.
Well, they did the same thing.
By the way, we're probably going to recast the Flash,
but it didn't have a problem in Marvel when they recast Chris Evans.
Chris Evans, yeah,
right. I mean,
yeah, but that was a completely different franchise,
different universes.
Yeah, and there was so much time in between them. We literally just saw Henry Cavill as Superman just a month ago, and then we're going to see Aquaman here in a couple months.
But if you had to choose somebody to play Lobo, who would you choose?
I think you're giving the American. I think you're giving too much credit to the American consumer about how much they care.
Right. Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna care as much as you think they do. Like, this group that we're in cares because we're fans of the source material. We're fans of everything that's put out. The general public and the general consensus, I don't think they're gonna care. They're just gonna be like, shit, Jason Momoa, what's this? And they're gonna go.
But I'm using what I've seen as kind of the basis for my. So like, you guys think I'm giving the American consumer too much credit. Well, explain to me why Thor, which is probably as bad as Black Adam, if not worse, Thor goes to make megabucks and Black Adam does it. I think it's because the American consumer has lost faith in the DC brand.
I think it's that the American consumer is invested in the MCU, and this is the third outing for Thor, so you're invested in this franchise at this point.
Well, then why did the Batman do so well? I think it's not so much Marvel or whatever. It's the fact that Black Adam was still connected to that old stuff. And then you have the Batman, which is a DC property that did well because it was clearly established. This has nothing to do with anything you've ever seen before. This is a complete reboot.
Explain Peacemaker.
But Peacemaker wasn't earth-shattering.
I think it was. It was the most talked about TV show to kick off the year. It was the most Googled and talked about TV show.
But then you had Suicide Squad. Yeah, but there also wasn't a whole lot out at that time. But then you also have the Suicide Squad, which was Peacemaker went off of, and Suicide Squad didn't break records.
But it definitely was better than the original Suicide Squad. So
yeah, we can all agree on that.
But I think a lot of people thought, oh, is this going to? What is this? What are they doing here again? Reboot? I know it was a couple years, not 10 years like you said with Chris Evans and his two roles. It was 5 years, and if they do Momoa, you're looking at 2 years. So again, apples and apples or tomato on that. How many years somebody needs to establish the break from one to the other, but you got a new Batman out of nowhere. You got a Joker who's in a separate universe. Like DC's been doing uncohesive storylines for a long time. The Batman universe didn't have anything to do with Batman Begins and all that. Had nothing to do with DC outside of that universe. And then they brought in Affleck, and he was in the Joker movie. Then they have another Joker movie that's not connected. And then they have, Suicide Squad that is same name, somewhat different characters, but connected. They really have had no cohesiveness, and that's probably their biggest problem over the last 10 years since Batman.
Like Joe's doing said, no one cares about recasting of characters if it's a good movie.
Yeah, but Thor was not a good movie, and people still went and saw it in droves.
Right, but I think that people, like you said,
but then you have Bird of Prey, where everybody agrees Margot Robbie's great as Harley Quinn, and it made no money.
Right, but why did Peacemaker do so well? At least word of mouth.
Because I think it was at home. There's a less of investment to actually sit down and watch it. You hear somebody say, "Hey, Peacemaker's really good. You should watch it."
But you got to be into it for however many episodes, right? So you got to invest almost 6
hours.
But
most people I spoke to, like my brother who does watch comic book stuff, I told him about it when we were probably 4 episodes in, and I said, "Dude, you got to watch the show." He hadn't even heard about it.
Yeah, my buddy too.
He's not the only person that was the case. Yeah, I think Peacemaker was a slow burn, like not the show, but I think people got into it as it was 2, 3, 4 weeks into it.
How was Iron Man received in 2008? Was it a slow burn?
Iron Man was all word of mouth,
right? Because it was a great movie, right? I mean, you look back at it, you can probably find fault here and there, but it was just like Superman, the first Superman in 1976. It was just a great movie. You go back and watch it now, maybe it's somewhat cheesy, but
it's a household name then.
I mean, I don't know.
Superman was a household name then, dude. And
but
so was
but
Reeves.
Again, it's still
in 76.
Yeah, absolutely, dude.
I mean, who would? I never saw Christopher Reeves or knew the name until Superman came out. I mean, maybe he was in some, I guess we can Google back to what shows he was in, but I mean, Superman was a household name. So was Iron Man. They both were.
Iron Man was not. Iron Man was not a household name until
there was a song. Your favorite song.
Dude, that has nothing to do with the comic book, bro. Like, Iron Man was not a household name. That's why no studio bought it. That's the only reason Marvel got to make that movie. They tried to sell the Iron Man. That's why they got to make
Avengers and all that, because they sold off all the good properties, right? We talk about
that was the big thing. That was the big thing with Marvel, is they sold all their dollar makers, and then were able to have success.
Yeah, but how was Superman was a household name? Because
Superman had already had. So in the 60s, I believe, like Superman had already had 2 or 3 TV shows by that time, right? With George Reeves. They had a cartoon series that was huge in the 60s or 50s or something like that. Superman was a household name. So everybody knew who Superman was. And then you have Batman that already had Adam West. So Superman and Batman were the 2 biggest superheroes in the world probably since the 60s. 50s. Iron Man, no one knew who the fuck Iron Man was if you didn't read comic books.
Except Ozzy Osbourne.
Right. But Iron Man, like, that was the big thing about Iron Man, is that it was an unproven property that Marvel turned it into gold.
But they made someone said earlier on the chat that, no one cares what the past was with that or who the recast is, as long as it's a good movie. And that's exactly what Iron Man was. And overall, just good movie. Superman might have been a household name, but he was, I don't know. I'm not saying he was super popular. I mean, it wasn't like he was a household name. He was in, cartoon stuff. So was Spider-Man. He had Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends in the 80s, and the movies they made did not do very well.
The 3 biggest superheroes in the world are Superman, Batman, and Spider-Man.
Right, but the Spider-Man movie that they made in the 80s didn't do anything. It was a cheesy like TV movie, I think. I can't give you the details.
Spider-Man.
It didn't come out until
the Japanese one. Show?
They had a Spider-Man TV show in the early years also. And a Captain
But
America.
I don't think you can afford the same thing that you're saying about Superman and Batman that you can to Spider-Man. Like Superman was big longer than Spider-Man was, and so was Batman.
I mean, I guess household name,
the
maybe.
Amazing Spider-Man TV series from 1977 to 1979.
Yeah, it was cheesy, but it didn't catapult Spider-Man anywhere else. The cartoons did more for him. And you know, I think maybe Superman lost some luster from the 60s until they made that movie in the 70s.
No,
76.
dude. No way, dude. Superman was huge, dude. Like, I think you're underestimating how big Superman was.
I think when you talk about the 70s, 60s and 70s, you have to redefine the word huge, because it was the popularity of these characters were not like it is today. There was not somebody, you got to remember those times. It was still very much, if you read comics, you were a nerd. You didn't want to be a nerd. So Superman didn't quite have the following he does today. So I think you've got to kind of redefine your use of huge.
Well, no, yeah. Now it's different. Like popularity now with the increase of social media and the internet and stuff. Obviously, it's nowhere near. It's well above what it was back then.
Joe is why
but as
I
far
don't like Superman, because overpowered superheroes are boring.
But back then there was no internet or anything. So, but when you look at those standards, as far as household recognition, Superman was the biggest fucking superhero character in the world.
Well, there was no guarantee
he was the first superhero, and it's not because of it's what the character stood for. It was the symbol that the character is. It's not the character himself. It's what he represents. It's what he stood for. It's his creed. They used him very much to propel themselves through the Great Depression, through World War II, just kind of like they did with Captain America. They used him as a vice. They used his symbol as a symbol of inspiration, as a symbol of hope. As it's not the character of Superman. It's what he represents is what really catapulted him to.
So when did the first Superman movie come out?
76.
Okay, so in 1960 to 1977, he had a Broadway play. He had the New Adventures of Superman TV show. He had Super Friends.
Reeves.
What's that?
With George Reeves, right?
Yeah, I believe so. No, George Reeves, was it that time? I think that was in the 50s.
Yeah. I don't know.
Adventures of Superman. But then you also had Super Friends.
Well, you're aware that there was
going on before that movie came out.
There was a Batman series before Adam West as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
There was no guarantee. There's no guarantee that the Superman movie of 76 was going to be a hit. It had a great director, it had a great actor, it had a great character, but there have been other flops like we see with Black Adam because of I won't say it's a great director, but a great actor, or not great, but just well known, that could have propelled it. So there was no guarantee, but the way the movie was done, same with Batman '89 with Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson was such a synergy between those two. Same with Lex Luthor. I mean, God, you can't get any better than Gene Hackman as Lex Luthor, in my opinion. I mean, the guy, he was awesome in that role. The whole movie was great because of many different factors that propelled what was a household name to what it became through the 90s and till now. I mean, you got a character who's been around for 90 years, right?
Yeah,
and
but
still well known.
I forget what was our argument.
Well, I'm saying that your guy going back, like just the fact that Iron Man was a changing movie because it was a great movie. Batman '89 was a great movie, and Superman was a great movie. So you have to start somewhere with that.
But
and
Superman was a household name. Iron Man was not.
Right, but that's was the point we were getting at. Is I was just trying to get back to the fact that if the movie's good enough, you can propel the franchise. And DC can do that if they have another one of those type of movies like Marvel did with Iron Man, and how Superman and Batman both, even though they were household names, but no one saw them to that scale back then. Right? I mean,
yeah,
there's nothing
you
beats
could also
that
make the
helicopter
argument that like DC with those movies, like not all of them have been like super stinkers, right? You had Aquaman. I liked Shazam. I know Matt did not, but
So
none of those
Right,
propelled
do you know that
the franchise.
there's something
here's oh, go ahead.
I'll make a quick point. This may go longer than that, but I mean, there was a different feeling when coming out of the theater. Maybe it had to do with my age. When I first saw Superman, when I first saw Batman, when I saw Endgame, like those were big movies. Iron Man the same way. Like I liked coming out, Shang-Chi was a good movie. So was Aquaman, but they were nothing like those tent poles. Those are just phenomenal movies that it's hard to remake those every time. Like we had said earlier, you can't make these big movies every time. Some of them are not going to be as big hits, but you need a couple of those to propel your franchise forward. And DC has not had as many of those. They need to go back to the formula of the Batman and Superman somehow. I don't know. It's just, I think those were.
If Superman, look at the slant. If Superman was so well known and started it all, why didn't Batman you realize Batman was first, right? Batman had what was it, like 15-part serial in 1943.
Oh, Batman was huge.
And then Superman had one in 1940. I want to say 48.
What's the point you're trying to make?
I'm just saying, like, Superman wasn't as big as a household name as you think he was.
No, Batman was big. I think Batman was just as, if not probably bigger. I mean, the Adam West show was fucking huge.
I'm just saying, like,
the George Reeves show wasn't like that. I mean, they still make stuff, well, up until Adam West passed away, but they were still doing reboots or installments to that Adam West. I mean, they had Adam West and what's his name, Burt
Ward.
Yeah, Burt Ward do an animated movie just 7 years ago or something like that. Batman 6. They're still coming out with comics like that. The Superman movies don't have that.
No, and my point was just like, I don't think Superman's although popular and his symbol was popular, he wasn't as big as you think he was in that time.
I think the reason the Superman movie did good is calling back to what you just said a little bit ago, Matt, is what he stood for. But nobody could know what he stood for if he wasn't a well-known character. Right? The Superman was the American way. And in the 70s, there was a large demographic of people, because if you remember, there was a lot of, was that around the Vietnam War, right? No.
Yeah, 60s,
70s, Vietnam.
74.
There was a lot of discord between these two groups of people. Like you had people that opposed the government, and then you had these other, like, I see it in I've been watching that 70s show a lot now, right? You had Star Wars and stuff like that making big impacts, but I think more so with Superman, it's what he stood for, and at that time that was needed by a certain demographic of people. But you also had the fact that he was a known character, right?
But again,
and nobody could know what he stood for if you didn't know the character.
Right, but even as well known as he was, Superman 1 and 2 were good movies, but Superman 3 and 4 were kind of didn't carry just as for him being as well known, or for the character being as well known. Those movies did not fare well, and now they did Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, right? Even though the staying power, the cultural significance, or the wherewithal of those characters, still have to make a good movie, right? And that's what
Batman Forever wasn't a flop in the theaters, was it? Those Joel Schumacher movies?
The Val Kilmer, I mean, it was getting there.
It started to get there because they started losing their quality, but the first one after Batman Returns was what? Was it Forever?
Yeah, the Val Kilmer then was Batman and Robin with George.
Yeah, the Val Kilmer movie did not flop in the theaters.
No, I mean, but it wasn't. There was a lot of problems with that movie that they didn't stick with Tim Burton again.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of problems.
Right, it didn't flop, but again,
bat nipples.
And yeah, exactly. But it was, I don't know. I mean, we can go over this all day.
Yeah, I think we've beaten this topic. Can we just move on to the next?
Yeah, we can.
I win.
Gwen Stacy's clone becomes Spider-Man's greatest villains in a new series. Marvel Comics has officially announced Spider-Gwen Shadow Clones as a 5-part limited series that transforms Gwen Stacy into 5 of Spider-Man's most notorious adversaries. Spider-Gwen Shadow Clones. It's going to feature designs by Peach Momoko due to launch in March of 2023. The series reimagines Gwen Stacy as Dr. Octopus, Sandman, Vulture, Rhino, and Kraven the Hunter. Each issue will ship with an homage variant cover by Greg Land. At this time, the House of Ideas has unveiled the first 4 variants featuring clones of Gwen as Doc Ock, Sandman, Kraven, Rhino, respectively. This is a cash grab if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, they didn't even try to make each artwork look different. I mean, Doc Ock and Kraven is the same fucking pose. They just put different dressing on them, and the other 2 are the same.
They're all super popular Spider-Gwen covers too. So like they're 2 like the highest grossing Spider-Gwen covers. The Land cover where she's in the squatting position, that book was for like $2,000 for the Edge of Spider-Verse 2, her first appearance. So they're just homaging these covers, and it's like it's one of the most overproduced Gwen covers out there. Like it just,
the Doc Ock one looks kind of cool. The Sandman one looks kind of cool. Those other 2 look stupid as shit.
Yeah. Well,
the Rhino one looks absolutely ridiculous. Like they progressively get worse as I'm looking in this scale that you put here.
Yeah, the Kraven one looks absolutely ridiculous as well.
But the Rhino one, like she grows horns out of her head now.
Yeah, see, just like Joe Zolan said, just what I need. Another derivative Greg Land Gwen cover. But cash grab all that Gwen stuff. Makes me wonder if makes me wonder this year we've gotten Gwenverse and now Spider-Gwen Shadow Clones. They're either gearing up
come into the MCU.
They're either gearing up for into the or across the Spider-Verse to remind you about Spider-Gwen, or Gwen Stacy's gonna make her appearance in Spider-Man 4.
I do think Across the Spider-Verse kind of propelled Gwen Stacy, and you could probably argue that probably happened with Amazing Spider-Man 2, Gwen Stacy, or Amazing Spider-Man in general. But it kind of propelled this character into a stratosphere that I didn't even know was possible for this character. Like, I mean, she doesn't hold that big of an impact to the Spider-Man. You know, when people think of Spider-Man, they think Mary Jane, right?
No,
Gwen Stacy. Well, no, it's like normal, regular people. Like if I asked some guy off the street that has very limited knowledge of Spider-Man, who's Spider-Man's girlfriend, 90% of people would say it's Mary Jane.
Yeah, but Gwen holds the most significance because that was like, other than that was the real first loss at his hands was
yeah, but you're speaking from a person that knows like I would say. I understand what you're saying, but we're both speaking from a person that has a knowledge of Spider-Man at whole. But if you talk to general audiences, like
you do a lot of talking to general audiences. I want to know where you talk to these general audiences at.
Well, I just think about like people like my sister or my dad or something like that don't watch, may watch one of these every like once in a blue moon, or have a general understanding of the character. And I mean, the animated series came out. Mary Jane was a huge part of that, and Gwen Stacy, I don't think
fucking sticks. Gwen Stacy, 276 feet to fall, Spider-Verse movie.
But I do think that like she's kind of been
Dollar General is where Lance talks to the general audience.
But I do think she's kind of been vaulted into kind of a spotlight because of into the Spider-Verse. And
for the character of Spider-Gwen, absolutely. I will absolutely agree with you there. But moving on, Daredevil Born Again will reportedly remain a TVMA under Bob Iger's watch.
I really hope Bob Iger's fixing some shit, dude. Because I just had this
Nothing.
conversation with my dad where he's like, it's the same old shit. Because my dad's like super conservative and stuff.
Yeah.
But I really hope Bob Iger comes in, and I really hope the problems that they've been having as far as, you know, with Marvel and some of the stuff with Star Wars and everything like that, I really hope that they ousted the guy that was a big piece of that. Do you think Kevin Feige is the reason why they've been pushing out so much shit?
No, I think Kevin Feige is, although he's in charge of the MCU, he's still got a boss to respond to or report to. And so he's reporting to the CEO who's giving him his marching orders, and he's just doing with the best he can with what he's got.
Try to find out how to come out with more shit.
Yep.
Why do you think Chapek wanted to do so much content? I thought he was the parks guy.
No, but he became the CEO.
But it goes hand in hand.
The whole
So
company.
the more you pump out MCU wise, that's your draw. The more you can put in the parks, the more you can build bigger Avengers campuses, and you can do, you know, the more you pump out, the more you have to work with, the more you can capitalize on.
That makes sense.
It's really crazy too, because Iger kind of groomed Chapek to become the CEO. And then as soon as Iger came back as the CEO, he's instantly talking shit about Chapek. He talked shit about them raising the park prices. He thinks the park prices are too high. He talked shit about how he treated employees and stuff. Like, and this guy was groomed to be Iger's successor by Iger. And the dude was ousted in what, 2 years?
Yeah. A couple bad reports, and
but it is kind of like a light switch went off, dude. Like, we had Endgame. Disney seemed to be on fucking cloud 9 up until that point. And then they just had a flop with Strange Worlds. Like, Strange Worlds flopped hard, dude.
No, there was absolutely no press for it. I didn't see commercials for it. The only place I saw commercials for it was on Disney
on
Plus.
something. You put Disney on something, and that used to be a draw alone. Like, just stick Disney on it.
But
and
the problem is
or Pixar.
I think in the way people consume media now, it is like they're not focusing their publicity and their advertisements in the right way, because people aren't consuming media on TV anymore. They're not watching Disney Plus. So if you're only putting your ad on Disney Plus and you're not running, I don't think I ever saw a commercial for Strange Worlds on TV.
I saw them during the football games and stuff. My biggest thing is I took my kids to see the movie, and the dude starts talking. I was like, is that fucking Jake Gyllenhaal? They never once put in the commercial that Jake Gyllenhaal was the voice in this movie. And in my opinion, Jake Gyllenhaal's a draw, dude. Would you guys agree with that?
Oh, yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal, that name is a draw. Like, that should get people to go to the theater. And they don't even fucking put his name in the movie that I didn't even know what that movie was about. So I agree with you as far as the promotion wise. But still, the reason we went and saw it is because it fucking had Disney on it. My kids knew what it was. I think it was marketed to kids a lot because
my kid has no idea what it is.
But it wasn't.
I know my kids watch a lot of like YouTube Kids and stuff, and it was constant Strange Worlds ads.
Well, was it intended for kids? Wasn't there a bigger theme in that movie?
It's a children's movie.
Oh, okay. It was intended that way.
It sounds like a calculated move. Release it when nobody's looking.
I thought you said there were some other themes to it that made people leave the theater.
But there was a lot of controversy around it.
Yes, there were a lot of LGBTQ.
Even though the controversy is kind of stupid. Like, the thing that everybody was pissed about, I guess, was there's a point in the movie where the teenager, he's probably 16 or 17, he meets his grandfather, and the grandfather's like, hey, so do you have anybody special back home? And he says like, yeah, there's this guy that I really like. That's pretty much the extent. And dude, when we went and saw that movie, like more than half of our movie theater got up and walked out when that comment was made.
Jeez.
It's fucking crazy, dude.
I can't believe that.
It's fucking 2022 and you're getting pissed. And you know, I've heard people, well, they're indoctrinating your children. By what? How? How are they indoctrinating your children? By telling your children that these kind of people exist? I don't fucking get it, dude. I don't get it at all. You want to put your kid up in a box and hide him in a closet and tell them that gay people are monsters or whatever and don't exist? That's your prerogative. But don't be upset because a 16-year-old says he has a crush on a boy and then it just fucking, like, how is that indoctrinating? Indoctrinating to me means they're coming on the screen and be like, hey, kid, you know, you should be gay. That's indoctrinating. Here's why you should be gay.
Yeah, it's more of a...
I was pissed, dude. I was pissed when I saw all those people walk out.
Yeah, it would have been like, I don't get it.
The real irony of it is that most of these people that are being so vocal about these things are supposed Christians. Wasn't the whole thing about Christianity about being tolerant of other people and other people's beliefs?
Yeah, but you can love people, but if they do...
Unless you're touching wieners, and then
if you're touching wieners or you're being gay, you're committing a sin, and every day you don't repent, you're still committing a sin. They can love you, but not love what you do. And they're committing a sin.
Yeah, but isn't the other thing to not judge?
Hartman said, I think it's because kids emulate grown-ups. I don't support the hate, but it's real.
Yeah, I don't get that rhetoric, but that's I heard that from some of my Christian friends.
And I consider myself a Christian, but dude, I fucking put my arms around those people. Like, I just don't and I want my kids to be exposed to it, if you will. You know what I mean? I want my kids to learn that what those people do is not wrong, right? Like, you should love those people, right? Like, they don't share the same beliefs that you do, and that's okay. And they have that belief that that's okay. And so because they think that that's okay, we should, like, I just don't fucking get it, dude. I can't even make sense of what I believe because I just don't fucking understand it.
I mean, essentially you're just going to desensitize the kids to what they see so that they are tolerant of it.
Yeah, I want them to be tolerant of it. Right. I don't want my kid to be walking through the mall, right, and see a same-sex couple kiss in the mall and have a reaction that's not good. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I want them to see that.
Yeah, but if you see anybody making out at the mall, you're like, what are you doing?
Exactly. No, that's different. That's different, right? PDA, in my opinion, is gross. Right. PDA, I agree with that. But a simple, like, the big Lightyear thing. Everybody was pissed off about the Lightyear thing because there's a same-sex married couple in there, two women, that share a small kiss on screen, and people were pissed off about that. And Lightyear, if you remember, did not do that well.
No, it didn't play in China for that reason, right?
Yeah,
it wouldn't play it in that, yeah, because of that reason. And that's funny because, not funny, but watch any commercial today, and you'll see there. I think there's an AT&T commercial or Verizon. I don't know who does it, but there's a lot of same-sex couples getting dropped off or in the backseat of a car, and it's part of the whole commercial. And any of the commercials you see today have that in that. So why it's frowned upon in a movie, it's on the TV every day.
Speaking of something that's frowned upon, frowned upon is being hairy. Being hairy down there is frowned upon. But down there, hairy, you don't have to care with Manscaped. That's right. It's never too early to play holiday music, and it's never too early to start thinking about gifts. We're only a few short weeks away from Christmas. And why not get your friends the gift of...
That's a gift that keeps on giving, Clark.
Yeah, of hygiene, of making that little party in their pants that much more special.
If you think your friend stinks, tell them by buying them crop preserver.
You can make this your friend's little friend season a little bit more jolly with Manscaped. Do your little drummer boy a favor and use the Lawnmower 4.0 to avoid another silent night in the bedroom. Then add in Manscaped's top-of-the-line shower products to have the people thinking, all I want for Christmas is you. Santa cares about your sack and his sack. So why not take care of all sacks by treating your ball sack to Manscaped? Use use code AGeek Podcast to check out for 20% off Manscaped, free shipping and promo code. I have gotten Manscaped for several people as gifts this year. It's the gift that keeps on giving for everyone involved. Get Manscaped.
I just saw, I can't find it, but I saw on, I don't know if it's Facebook or Instagram, this woman was under, you saw this guy's legs, like probably wearing shorts, and you see her underneath him and she's shaving him. And I guess he wasn't wearing shorts because hair's falling down on top of her. And next thing you know, she must have cut it. And it looks like Play-Doh fell down on her face.
My wife has a Manscaped shirt that they sent me, and so I gave it to her, and she wears it everywhere, and she always gets comment on her. People are like, hey, I use Manscaped, like screaming at her in stores. I use Manscaped. Oh, Manscaped, Manscaped.
Tell her to bring me that shirt. I'm gonna put our fucking promo code on the back of it.
That's what I told her you should do.
I tried to promote it recently. I don't know if we got any more hits on that or you guys did, but trying.
Yeah, I saw your post.
I just noticed that my body wash that I got from Manscaped is fucking the best body wash I ever used in my life.
Smells so good.
Body wash.
Almost out, so I got to buy another bottle of it because that shit is awesome.
Use promo code AGeek Podcast to check out for 20% off.
Oh, believe me, I know. I have lots of Manscaped products.
All right, well, let's get into a little bit of video game news here. Watch yours. I like that, Sticks.
What do you say?
Where's Ishat,
Be the
by the
most
way?
sacked QB used Manscaped. Developed by Rockstar Studios and published by Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment, Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League is an upcoming action-adventure title that will feature the beloved Kevin Conroy's final bow as the Dark Knight. Warner Brothers released a new in-engine trailer for Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League at 2022's The Game Awards, with Batman as its forefront. So
I'm actually excited for this
final time voicing Batman.
This game looks like a lot of fun. I bought Gotham Knights and I've yet to play it.
I heard Gotham Knights sucks, so
it was on sale for $30, so I picked it up.
I don't know.
You're right there, Matt. You forget?
Yeah, I don't know why. Like, I'm missing a slide because there was, or maybe I didn't add it in there, but we got a release date for the next Star Wars game also.
Jedi Fallen Order, right?
Fallen Order 2. It's called Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Has a release date of March 17th, 2023.
That game
PlayStation 5, Xbox
stoked,
Series
dude.
X and S.
Now, do you guys both have PS5?
I do. Yeah,
I have a
think we both
PS5
do.
and the new Xbox.
So do I, yeah.
Because you couldn't get those, right? They're almost.
Yeah, I got mine on launch date.
Really?
Yeah, so what had happened is Max pre-ordered one and then for whatever reason decided that he didn't want it. And so he was going to cancel his pre-order. And I said, dude, just let me pay you for it. And then mine came in and I was on vacation and he fucking opened it like a jackass and fucking used it the whole time I was on vacation.
Nice.
But yeah, so I got a used PlayStation 5 that I paid full price for.
That's the kind of friendship that just keeps on giving.
Right.
But
what's the latest Xbox though? What's it called? Latest
Xbox
Xbox?
Series S or X.
The S is the digital one, which makes no fucking sense to me why anybody would buy that. Has half the resolution. Fucking all digital. Whatever.
I'm gonna get a PS5, but I think they're like $800 now, right?
No, they're only
No,
500.
you should be able to get them. I saw them at
actually
Target the other day.
I watched somebody at Best Buy buy one today, so yeah.
Yeah, you
They're
can
out
get
there.
them. Just don't buy the digital one. It's for schmucks.
Yeah.
But that's it for the geek news. I thought that this being the holiday season, we would do some fun stuff and do some stuff we don't normally do. We'll do some more tier lists this week, and I thought, what
Do I
better
see a
way?
Barbie Christmas movie on there?
Yeah, what better tier list to do?
You couldn't put shit we
then-
actually seen?
Hey, then a holiday special tier list. So
Where's Harold and Kumar? Is Harold
This
and
should be
Kumar on
fun.
there?
no, it's not a holiday movie.
Harold and Kumar Save Christmas.
Yeah, fuck that.
So is Die
Or
Hard
you
on
put
here?
fucking Barbie on there?
Die Hard is on here, yes.
I can't see it.
So we'll go ahead and start here with let's go ahead and
That's awesome.
trash Barbie Christmas right off the bat because none
Thank
of
you.
us have seen it.
I have a feeling that
Um,
you just picked one that was already made. That's why Barbie's on there, right?
Yeah. Let's go with
Letting everybody in
Let's
on the
start
show
strong
business
with Elf.
secrets.
That's it.
You know, I'm
That's
gonna have a hard time with this because there's a few on here that I'm putting S tier.
S.
Elf being one of them.
Elf is S tier.
Yep.
Fucking Elf is awesome.
Love that movie.
I think it's A.
That's one of
tier.
the that's one
I
of the
think it's
few Christmas
overrated.
movies that I could watch over and over again and it not be Christmas.
I think Elf is overrated. Honestly,
Oh fuck, dude. Elf
No,
is awesome.
It's like a fine wine. It's gotten better over the years. Yeah.
Elf is awesome.
it's A tier to me. But if you guys are both giving it S, I mean, unless the chat overrules.
Hey, let's put it this way. Jon Favreau was in it.
Yeah,
Iron Man, Mandalorian.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
also
Aaron-
an
Aaron-
overrated movie.
Aaron, I think, agrees. S tier. Yeah, she says you're crazy. She's
Yeah, well,
rethinking her marriage right now.
Nah, that's not true.
Oh man. What else we got on here?
I'll be home for Christmas. The Jonathan Taylor Thomas banger.
JTT.
J.
I showed that one to my daughter the other day. She really liked it. I don't remember much of it though. That's the one where he has to like hitchhike all the way back home, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Like, I remember at the time that it came out that I liked it. But that was during like when Home Improvement was at its heyday, right?
I do not love
right at
the
the end.
masterful emotional range of Zoe Deschanel. No, I do not, Joe.
I
I'll Be
don't
Home for
know about
Christmas,
this
probably
one.
C tier for me.
Yeah, I'm all right with that. I didn't see it.
Let's just get this out of the way. Put Die Hard as an S.
Yes.
And you think Die Hard should be an S?
Heck
Yes.
Okay, I don't think so.
Yeah. And
Okay,
if
let's
you-
put it this way. I've never been one of those people to go pay money to see a movie in the theater that came out 20 years ago. I did it for this one and only this one. We got a group of guys together to go see fucking Die Hard in the theater just like 2 years ago.
There probably would be two more movies that you would put in that S tier, in my opinion. And I would,
Nightmare?
no, I mean, I don't know if you want to get to the S tier yet or wait to get it, but I mean, you could put Gremlins in A. You know, that's one that's, in my opinion, high grade. But
I
I
forgot
had a-
Gremlins was even a Christmas movie. That's set in Christmas, huh?
Scrooge could
Been a
be
number
in
of years
A.
since I've seen that.
Let's do the Santa Claus, the original with Tim Allen.
The
It could
first
be a
one?
B. B.
I'd probably go B
Yeah.
as well.
I like that one. I'm trying to see what else is on here.
Look at my wife in here dropping some knowledge. Die Hard is just classic nostalgia. That's why it makes S tier.
I know you married a good woman, dude.
I know. Look at her just in here
I
dropping.
think that
some
new
knowledge.
movie, Silent Night or Deadly Night, whatever, with the guy from
David
Stranger
Harbour.
Things is going to be in S tier next year. I didn't
Oh
see
yeah,
it yet, but I think it's going to
like
be one of
people
those.
are. Our friend Jesse from Nerd with Balls, he went and saw it and said it was fucking awesome.
I want to see it. I didn't realize it already came out. I thought it was coming out like closer to Christmas.
Yeah, it came out on December 2nd.
But I would put Scrooged in the A,
Yeah, that's a good one.
and I would take there's another one I saw there. Christmas with the Cranks in A.
Oh, I hated that movie.
Yeah, I know. I don't
Gets
think
better
it
with
is.
time.
Yeah, I don't think it's that good, dude.
Oh, I like that movie. You got Dan Aykroyd, Tim Allen. I mean, Jamie Lee Curtis, the blonde.
That's the one
from
where he
that.
tans him. He like
Yeah,
gets
oh,
a
yeah.
spray tan, right?
Yeah, it's awesome. He's in the
that
Speedo, and
movie's-
she got spray tan too. Jamie Lee Curtis.
And then the daughter decides to actually come home for Christmas. What was that you just put in there?
Handcuffed. It's fucking Clarissa Explains It All. It's a stupid like Hallmark.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's why.
Why don't we put the whole Hallmark Channel in trash? The whole Hallmark Channel.
Pretty much.
Am I the only one that thinks the Polar Express is fucking trash?
I might D it, not.
It's like B tier for me.
I hated that movie.
I don't mind it.
Everybody talks about it. I think it's trash. I don't care where you put it because it's been years since I've seen it. But I remember when I saw it, I said, "What is the big hoopla about this movie?"
A Christmas Story is S tier for sure.
Yep. I still haven't watched the sequel, and I intend to. I'm excited for it.
No, it's trash. It is absolute garbage.
There's a sequel, then there's another movie. So there's 3 Christmas Story movies.
The one that just came out.
Right.
Yeah,
that's
trash.
That actually has Peter Billingsley. Really? It's been getting good reviews.
I saw it. I was like, this isn't good.
Yeah,
I didn't get all the way through it.
You saw it, JP?
I saw half of it, and I was like, I'm not going to finish watching it. I might come back and watch it.
I was looking forward to that one.
I mean, it starts off good, and I kind of got confused on the era, and then I realized you got to realize what era the movie started in, the original one, and then where he's at.
Terrible. Yep.
That's a shame.
But I still would watch it.
That one.
New one is trash.
Again, it might get better with time, just like Christmas.
There's only what's that one that's next to Jingle All the Way on the right?
For Christmas.
That?
Yeah, it's Chris. I think that's Krampus. I don't know what that one is.
There's only a few others would be S tier for me.
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, S tier.
Gotta be S. I can watch that every day during Christmas.
4 Christmases is S tier for me. I love that movie.
It's okay.
I would
care where you put it.
That movie's fantastic, dude. Jon Favreau is in it. Fucking Vince Vaughn.
Reese Witherspoon, right?
Reese Witherspoon. Yeah, that movie's awesome.
I apologize. Everybody's getting a nice shot at the top of my fucking bald ass head because I'm trying to see these fucking movies.
That's why I gotta wear a hat like me.
One of my favorite movies ever is on this list. The Night Before. That to me is S tier.
But
the last one.
The Night Before. That movie is not S tier. That movie sucks.
Dude, that movie's fucking fantastic, dude.
That movie is terrible.
That movie is fucking awesome.
The only other S tier movie is Home Alone. You put that in S tier, and then from there, everything else, that's
Stick Boys. And I thought Lance was mooning us.
That movie's awesome. No, dude, Nightmare deserves to be S tier. Nightmare Before Christmas is fucking awesome.
I think Nightmare Before Christmas is overrated. I think it belongs in either A or B. I don't think it's really as good as everyone makes it out to be.
I'd B tier. Jingle All the Way, A tier.
Nah, fuck no. Jingle All the Way is a trash movie.
That's a superhero movie. Come on,
that's a trash movie, dude.
Phil Hartman. It's not a tumor.
It's trash.
The Jim Carrey Christmas Story is trash.
Oh, you mean
my wife gets
Christmas
pissed
Carol?
every time I say it. That one, right? Christmas Carol. Yeah, that's
Christmas
trash.
Carol.
And then the Grinch with Jim Carrey is C or D for me.
Yeah, it's probably about
the Christmas Carol from Disney would be an S tier for me. But that's not on the list, is it?
That's this one. The one with Jim Carrey is the Disney movie.
Right,
that's fucking horseshit.
The one with Mickey Mouse. Do you remember that one?
Oh,
the 30-minute special
one.
Oh my god! As a kid, I loved that.
How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Is that the Despicable Me one?
Yeah, I think it's the Illumination.
I like
remake.
that one. I put that one A or B.
Did not see that.
I like that one a lot.
I think the Kurt Russell, what's his wife's name? Goldie Hawn would be a B tier. That was a good movie.
Christmas Chronicles. I haven't watched that one, but dude, my kids were addicted to it.
Yeah, it was good.
They because there's 2 of them, and they've watched those every year. They watch them at least 5 to 6 times.
Yeah, Home
throughout
Alone,
the month of December.
Home
That
Alone
one's up there.
S-tier.
Where's Home Alone 2?
Good point.
Home Alone 2
have you seen that
right
new
here.
Home Alone with the British kid?
Yeah,
that one's pretty
year.
good, dude. I like that one. Which one's
You
that?
like that's trash. That's the one with the British.
No,
kid.
I liked it a lot, dude. I liked it a lot. I don't think it's trash. You could put that one C for me.
Gremlins
C
will
or
go
B.
A. I'll give it a D tier.
Have you seen it, JP?
Yeah, I saw it. It wasn't bad. The ending was good.
I feel like it feels like the originals because they came Home Alone 1 and then 2 and then they came out with like 3 that were just shit.
Charlie Brown
And
Christmas.
Yeah, I think that one is fucking boring as shit.
It's like A tier. Let's be honest.
Where
Oh
do
my
we put
gosh,
Christmas with the
yeah.
Cranks?
I don't think it's on there.
I don't think it's on here.
You can't have Christmas without the Cranks.
The Night Before.
Dude, that's one of my favorite movies ever.
Is that it? What is that movie about?
Seth Rogen,
Joseph
Gordon-Levitt, and dude, I love that
Anthony
fucking
Mackie.
movie. It's Anthony
yeah.
Mackie.
Yeah, Anthony Mackie.
What else we got left here?
One of them's like Jewish.
It's a
and they go
Wonderful
to, like,
Life.
Oh well,
that one's boring as shit too. In my
Yeah, it's like a
opinion.
B tier. It is a good movie, but it is long.
overall
and
good
boring
movie,
as shit.
classic.
That's one that I'm surprised they've never
Jack Frost.
rebooted.
Frosty the Snowman.
I love that one. That's A for me.
Yeah, A
And
tier.
the same with the other one, the Rudolph one.
Yep.
Rudolph
see-
A.
Mm-hmm. Those are just timeless. Dude.
If you're gonna put
the
those, there,
Muppet
you gotta
Christmas
put Jingle All
Carol,
the
the
Way.
Muppet Christmas Carol is in the top one of the top 2 tiers.
What
that
about
movie's
Jug
fucking
Band?
awesome.
Jug Band, Emmett Otter Jug Band Christmas.
Now you're
You
getting
guys-
crazy here. Muppet Christmas Carol is like a B.
Fucking love that movie.
Did you guys see Emmett Otter's Jug Band?
No.
Mm-mm.
Oh man,
Jack
Yeah.
Frost. That's probably.
I don't even
trash,
remember
right?
that movie.
D tier.
Jingle All the Way.
Gotta be A tier.
When it came,
No, it's
not
honestly
A.
like C tier.
I tell you
Yeah,
what,
think
I
C
I
or
haven't
C or B.
I haven't seen Jingle All the Way until last year. I found it on Amazon or Hulu. or
Jingle all the
something,
way.
and we watched it, and then we were 5 minutes from the end, and it cut off. And I think I rented it, and it was a bad rental. And I was like, I don't know what the hell how this damn movie ended. I haven't seen it in 20 years, but I have no idea how it ended. So,
Emmett Otter
All
Jug Band Xmas is epic. Joe Doolin says.
yes, it is. You guys should both have your kids watch that, or at least that are old enough to watch those shows.
Jingle All the Way though was fucking huge, dude. Like Funko just released the Turbo Man, but it doesn't look
nice.
like a Funko. Like it's the actual like in the kit, like the way it looks in the movie, but it's made by Funko. And
Well, think about it.
fucking thing flew off the shelves, dude. It's actually I think it's
Just like in the
worth a little
movie.
bit now. Yeah.
Just like in Turbo, you had Sinbad, you had Phil Hartman, and you got Arnold. I mean, you can't get a better trifecta than those three. And Sinbad and
Here's-
Hartman together are great.
Here's a
What's the-
winner. Medea's Christmas.
Oh my gosh.
What's that one that's fourth from the end?
This one.
What is that?
I have
Yeah.
no idea.
Wish there was a way you could click on them and make them bigger.
I know that'd be awesome.
That's what she
wouldn't it?
said.
Nice.
Everything else on that list is trash or D. Well, what's that one for that's fourth from the beginning?
There's Fred. This is Home Alone 2, I think.
Oh, put that one right next to Home Alone.
That's Home Alone 2 is in the white.
No, I don't know what that one is, honestly.
We'll just call it Home Alone 2 and just stick that right up at the top.
Nah, that Home Alone 2 sucks compared to the first one.
No, dude, the first two are I don't know. Maybe
We'll just call that C tier.
bro.
You don't have the
At
wet
least- at
bandits
least-
in it.
Hey, they do in the
Yes,
Home
they
Alone
are.
Oh,
2.
yeah, yes, they are. Yeah, you're right. But it's the whole New York thing in the hotel.
And then you also get
Yes,
you also
but
get
you,
Tim Curry.
yes, Tim Curry, and I tell you, you laughed just as hard in Home Alone 2 as you did in Home Alone 1. The what do you call it? The traps were just as good, if not better.
All right.
It's one of the
I don't
few
think it's
movies where the
S tier.
sequel
How
is just as good as the original.
That is Home Alone 2 though, than the white.
We're just gonna call it Home Alone 2.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, because none of us can tell what the fuck it is. Now
Almost
just stick
Christmas.
everything else in C and D.
Almost Christmas.
I don't even remember that. Or D and trash. Everything else, bottom levels.
Love Actually is not a D or trash. I'm gonna give that one an A.
What?
I don't remember that one.
Love Actually is a good movie. The Holiday.
That one, Jack Black was in it. So
Yeah.
so just because Jack Black's in it, it should get.
It's like a C tier. The Family
What's
Stone.
that one? The Family Stone. I don't know.
Yeah,
Help us
no
out,
trash.
chat, because I don't.
Silent Night.
Is that the David Harbour one?
No, I think that's the. I think David Harbour one is a spin-off of that.
You could put Die Hard 2
Holiday,
on
I
here.
think, is a B tier.
Die Hard 2 was in Christmas.
Well, let Aaron have one. Go stick the Holiday up at B.
I'm not sticking the Holiday up at B.
Come on, man. She's your wife.
I don't care. Sometimes you got to hold firm to your convictions. Aaron says
Go
Family
with the
Stone is
Holiday.
a C. I'll give it to her. Then I'll move the Holiday to a B, I guess.
I'm just giving
Fred
you shit for
Claus.
eating that.
Fred Claus gets an A for me.
I think you're a Vince Vaughn stan.
I do like Vince Vaughn. I'm not gonna. Dude, Four Christmases is just a fucking funny ass movie. If you've never watched,
But you didn't
it,
like The Night Before.
I didn't like The Night Before. No.
The Night Before had me on the ground, dude. I love that. That's probably my favorite movie out of all of these.
Dude, Four Christmases does that. Like, I have not watched it yet this year, and that's a damn shame. And I need to find it and watch it because that movie is hilarious.
If you guys have, I'm sure you guys have.
Gets me, man. Like I like his movies.
You guys all have HBO Max.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So when you scroll down and look for holiday movies, most of these are there. Christmas Vacation is the last movie as you scroll over. Like, they don't want you to find it. They're not promoting that one, and I think that's the best, in my opinion, the best holiday movie out there.
It's because Chevy Chase is kind of like a fucking 4-letter word right now.
And he's in Monroeville right now, signing autographs at Steel City Con. Him and Beverly are there. And
Beverly D'Angelo, right?
did you guys know she was married to Al Pacino?
No, I
Yeah.
didn't.
Yeah, so she.
Yeah, I just read that yesterday, I think.
Yeah, she had an open
Her-
marriage with somebody else, and then married Pacino and had kids with him at 49.
And the guy
49
gladly divorced her to let her marry him.
Yeah, I was like, oh man.
Are you just sticking those anywhere?
Deck the Halls.
What? Who's in that?
I think that's the Matthew Broderick, Danny DeVito one where they fight over like the lighting competition for their house.
Oh yeah, with yep. Okay. I
Oh,
think
is
was
that
trash.
it?
Yeah.
What about
Actually, that
Hot
was
Tub?
kind of funny. I'll give it a C.
Hot Tub Time Machine, was that in Christmas?
That's
Or
not a
Snowy?
Christmas movie.
Was that
That
Snowy?
one just had snow in it, JP.
Wasn't sure. Just saw it recently. It was pretty good.
JP's thinking he's like the Revenant. The Revenant's Christmas, right?
Yeah. A little bloody, but hey.
Oh man. What ones are you guys surprised are not on here?
I was trying to think of a Christmas movie that is not here, and I really
Miracle on
drawing
34th
blank.
Street. The Wizard of Oz. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Wizard of Oz is a Christmas movie?
It always seems to be on TV around Christmas.
If it is,
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, I'm glad isn't on here because I have my issues with that movie. Fucking Grandpa Joe, you lazy bastard.
Just laid in that bed the whole
Gene
time.
Wilder.
Exactly.
Gene Wilder is a revelation, dude.
Totally could have got out of bed and got a job to help his family, but nah, they're over here fucking poor as shit, eating dirty ass dishwater cabbage soup, and he's just laying around. But the minute his grandson gets to tour a chocolate factory, his ass is up dancing around like he's got no issues.
But
Lazy bastard.
aside from that, Gene Wilder is a revelation in that movie.
Ernest Saves Christmas is a good one, yes.
Dude, you know what movie's not on here that I really liked?
The
Last
Guardian
Christmas.
special.
Last Christmas.
Last Christmas with Game of Thrones
Queen
chick.
Latifah. Oh no. Yeah, with Emily no, Amelia Clark.
Yeah, that movie was Anna and I went to the movie theater. Like, we just wanted to go to the movie theater. We couldn't figure out, there was nothing to watch, and we just happened to stumble into that movie, and I really liked it. I don't know if you guys have seen it.
I have, yeah. It's all right.
I don't know what other ones are you
There's
guys
some
surprised
real-
are on there.
There's some real winter Christmas movies on Netflix too.
Have you guys watched 8-Bit Christmas?
I did not. It looks good, but I did not see that.
I enjoyed
Bad
that
Santa. Yes, Aaron.
Yeah.
Bad,
one. Bad Santa. Yep. Let's see. I'm
Was the
going
Green
through stuff.
Inferno? Was that a Christmas movie? The Green Inferno, because it was green.
Daddy's Home 2 is pretty funny. I like that one.
Did you guys see the
Man
new
3.
Ryan Reynolds movie?
I've not
Spirited. I
watched
haven't
that.
seen that one yet.
That was
I heard
good.
it's not that great.
I liked it.
You liked it, JP?
Yep.
I'll
I
have to
wouldn't
watch
put it
that
up
one
in an A tier, but I would put it in a B or C tier.
Apparently, according to my wife, if you're waiting to watch Falling for Christmas, the new Netflix movie with what Lindsay Lohan in it, it's absolute garbage.
No, I'm not surprised. I like the one on, I think it's on Disney Plus, the one with Anna Kendrick and
Office Christmas Party.
Yeah, that one's good. The one with Anna Kendrick and Bill Hader. And Noel. I like that one a lot. Apparently Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is a holiday movie.
Mixed Nuts.
While You Were
Just
Sleeping
Friend-
is a Christmas movie.
I mean, come on, Just Friends. That's a Christmas movie all the way.
Just Friends would be S tier for me. That's Ryan
Yeah,
Reynolds'
movies.
best movie ever.
I don't know about that.
Dude, that movie, the rewatchability and the quotability of that movie is
Dude, honestly,
phenomenal.
fuck, what's the name of that movie? God damn it.
And then Batman Returns is a Christmas movie.
I heard, yep.
For me, Ryan Reynolds' best movie.
And then the original Grinch is not on here. The original
definitely
How Grinch-
maybe is Ryan Reynolds' best movie in my opinion.
Oh no, Waiting is his best movie.
Waiting is a
Waiting is
fantastic
fucking
movie.
good.
But I would say Waiting
Okay,
is
that's his
Justin
best movie.
Long's best movie, not necessarily Ryan Reynolds.
That's a great.
No, Justin Long's best movie is Accepted.
Did not see that.
I
was
think
at the-
Waiting's a
You haven't
little
seen
bit better
Accepted?
than Accepted.
I may have saw
Ask me
part of
about
it.
my wiener. I fucking love that movie. Oh, here's Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas, 1977.
I don't know if that's
Never
considered
even
a
heard of
movie.
this.
I can't believe you guys never heard of it. Like this was like, if you can find this
Number
on
43
VHS,
on this list.
it's worth $1 million if you find a VHS, probably because you just can't find it.
Edward
was back-
Scissorhands. Yeah.
Is that a Christmas movie?
Yep. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, I think, is more of a Thanksgiving movie, isn't
Yeah,
it?
thanks. But it,
Is
yeah, it's-
Uncle Buck a Christmas movie?
no, it's just in the cold of Chicago. I don't think
Is
it's
it?
Christmas.
How about
I
the
think
Star
every-
Wars Holiday Special?
Oh, that was terrible. The first
Oh,
appearance
that's
of Boba
S
Fett.
tier all the way.
First appearance of Boba Fett.
See, Harold and Kumar Christmas should be on this list.
Iron
It's
Man
number
3.
74 on this list.
You know what movie should be on here that's not? 8 Crazy Nights.
Yep. Have you seen that one, JP? Adam Sandler, the animated one.
No, not seen that one.
That movie's great, man. Here's Miracle on 34th. Santa Claus 2 is not on this one. Santa Claus 3 is a dumpster fire.
What about Santa Claus the movie from 1985?
I don't know that
Santa
one.
Claus is coming to town.
That's a porno.
There's not that as many Christmas movies.
That's a porno. All I Want for Christmas. Babes in Toyland, Little Drummer Boy, Unaccompanied Minors,
That one was not good.
Scrooged. Oh,
Trading Places, someone wrote down earlier. That's a good one.
what's the Matthew McConaughey one? Ghosts of Girlfriend's Past.
Yep.
Garfield Christmas.
What's funny is I'm looking at a list of top 100, and I don't know if they're in order, but Violent Night is number 22, and A Christmas Story Christmas, which is the most recent sequel for Ralphie, is 20. So I don't know if this is in the order, but
Dude, that movie was not good. Office Christmas Party.
I like that one.
Home Sweet
about-
Home Alone. That's the one with the British kid.
how about Black Christmas? During their Christmas break, a group of sorority girls are stalked by a stranger. That sounds like some holiday
That sounds like a
cheer right there.
porno. Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like a real porno. Shazam is considered a Christmas movie.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What about that movie
Yeah.
Antler? That's not a Christmas movie, is it?
It has something to do with deers, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, Let It Snow on Netflix. So the one with Ned from Spider-Man was pretty good.
Another Ryan Reynolds, another movie, Just Friends. That's considered a Christmas movie. You didn't know that?
Yeah, that one's definitely a Christmas movie. That movie's awesome. A Snow Globe Christmas.
Why him? That's a good one too.
Ernest Saves Christmas is not on this list.
Yeah, somebody already said that. I think.
I must have missed
someone
it
in
as
the
I
chat
was.
already said that.
Well, the other one is Christmas with the Cranks. We said it earlier, but that should be on that list too.
Are we there? Little Fockers.
Is that a Christmas
Trailer Park Boys Christmas special? But there we go.
Yeah, you guys all hate Night Before, but every Christmas movie list that I'm looking at has the Night Before on it. I'm not in the minority.
Not a fan of it, man. I thought it was a stupid movie. I thought it could have been so much better than it was.
I basically everything on that S tier is what I watch almost daily during the Christmas season.
Yeah, I want to go watch Scrooged again. It's been a while since I've seen that.
I'm just about there, except for like Elf. I could take or leave Elf. I like the first Home Alone.
I've not yet watched Home Alone.
4 Christmases would be my for me. It would probably be Die Hard, A Christmas Story, Christmas Vacation, Home Alone, 4 Christmases.
And it's one of those ones I've seen them so many times. I like having Christmas Vacation on the background all Christmas long. But 4 Christmases when it's on, I'll usually sit and watch it. It's good.
Our Christmas tradition for my family is A Christmas Story. We just watch the 24 hours of it. Like that's just what stays on our TV.
Yep, I don't watch it until that day. But what's funny is I used to travel for Christmas to go visit people, and I would spend 3 hours in a car. So by the time I got where I was going, finished eating and opening up presents, I watched the last half an hour of the last 24 hours of A Christmas Story. I never got to watch the whole thing. And that was what I used to like to do when they started that tradition of 24 hours of it. I'd have it on, watch at least one whole bit of it throughout those 24 hours, but not anymore. Travel. Never get to see it.
I love Christmas Story. I'm really bummed that you guys are saying that other one's not very good.
It's fucking.
I mean, you got to make your own opinion about it.
Yeah, but it's.
I'm gonna watch it, but I'm less excited about it now.
Is it like
He-Man
Black
and
Adam?
She-Ra Christmas special?
I didn't see the end of it, so I can't make
a
full decision.
Do you guys remember they did the live A Christmas Story with Ed Helms live on TV?
Yes.
That was a fucking dumpster fire, dude.
Well, this one is pretty much.
It's like they didn't even rehearse. Like it was live, and like people were forgetting their lines and fucking up songs, and
no,
that was bad, dude.
Now the guy who stuck his tongue to the pole. Didn't you guys interview him some years back?
We did, yeah.
Matt did.
I just watched it on YouTube, that interview with him, with Corey Feldman.
Scotty Schwartz.
Yep. Okay, didn't he become a porn actor?
He did, yes. He was in some pornos, yes.
Okay, so that
Was
seeing
he?
him back, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So was the guy from Saved by the Bell. So you got all these guys who were like,
Dustin
how
Diamond.
the hell did they get into porn, for Christ's sake? But yeah, but he was in that one.
Dustin Diamond wasn't in porn. Didn't his porn tape? Didn't he leak his own porn tape?
No, and then he did porn, yeah.
After his porn tape leaked, right?
Yeah, Scotty Schwartz went from being Flick and sticking his tongue to a pole to being in the toy with Richard Pryor to being on pornos.
So he's back in this Christmas.
Something else.
He is, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then Maitland Ward from Boy Meets World is a big porn star now too.
She's so hot.
Yeah, Rachel from Boy Meets World, the redhead.
Oh boy.
JP, you don't know what I'm talking about?
I do. I saw that on Yahoo the other day.
Yeah. But
crazy.
Well, we don't have anything to review, do we?
No, not really.
Kind of feels weird. Like, isn't this the month where like a lot of stuff comes out and it doesn't feel like anything's coming out? Like Avatar's the next big thing, right?
Yeah, which I'm not gonna go see.
Apparently
almost 4 hours long, dude.
Oh fuck. Apparently it's a spectacle, dude. Like from everything I've read about it, I'm not looking forward to it, but I'm probably gonna go with some of my buddies to go see it. But
I did not think the first one was that great, so I didn't.
The
think it was
first one's a
spectacular.
ripoff of fucking Ferngully.
Yes, it is. Oh, Willow, yes.
I heard
Willow
that's
stick.
a dumpster fire. I heard Willow's terrible.
I'm actually enjoying Willow for the most part.
Yeah,
I heard some bad reviews on that one. I didn't see it yet. I love the first one. Val Kilmer's great, but I heard some shit about this one.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
It's only 3 episodes in. I've enjoyed it so far.
I just yawned into my microphone. Sorry, guys.
Oh, no problem.
I'm sorry.
I gotta pack up my gear for tomorrow to get ready for the big show. So
if Ish was here, he'd probably be like, Matt, what did you pick up today? Well, I'll tell you, Ish. I picked up Quick Stops issue 2, which if you're a Kevin Smith fan, it's a must read because it tells you that Randall Graves and Brody Bruce are actually cousins. So Randall from Clerks and Brody from Mallrats are cousins.
Oh, nice.
And that's a good one you got to read. Gargoyles issue number 1 came out this week. Pick up your Gargoyles. One of the million covers
I'm waiting
of
for
Gargoyles.
Disney. I'm waiting for Disney to see the fucking gold that they have in Gargoyles and do something.
If you find that number 1 from the 90s, that's a big book.
Like if Chip and Dale got a reboot, Gargoyles should get a reboot.
Amazing. The Joker.
Oh, that's a great
The
cover.
Man Who Stopped Laughing
That's
cover
a sweet
with
ass
Santa with
That's a
You gotta
great
have that.
cover.
That's an awesome cover.
picked up Batman 130, Miles Morales number 1, Dark Web number 1, and Thor 29.
Have
So there you go,
any of them
Ish.
yet?
I read Quick Stops. I've read the Miles Morales one. I also picked up this beautiful Fantastic Four.
That's a great cover
number
too.
2 cover. I've read Gargoyles. Gargoyles was good. It's just like watching the TV show.
Dude, Gargoyles.
I picked up the Eminem Spider-Man book.
Oh, did you? Tell me you didn't pay more than...
No, I tried. I went to a LCS north of me. I guess not local. And I said, "Do you have the Eminem Spider-Man?" The guy's like, "What are you talking about?" I'm thinking, how do you have a comic shop and not know what's going down with that book?
I was gonna say, please tell me you didn't let FOMO
So you
get the
picked up-
best of you.
No, I didn't. I don't usually buy new books.
Okay.
But yeah,
That cover looks cool though. The
it
fact
does,
that
but it's not
going
worth
for-
$700.
No, fuck that. But the cover looks cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I got nothing new. Hopefully tomorrow I'll have something new.
Good luck on that hunt.
I was supposed to go to Fantastic Worlds tomorrow, and I don't think I'm gonna fucking make it.
Get on that grind. You better make it. You have Ish holding books for you.
Yeah, I called him about a couple books, but I didn't get a chance to get back to him on those ones. So I was hoping to be on today. So maybe next week.
Oh, Sticks brought up Wednesday. Have you guys watched Wednesday?
I have watched Wednesday. Yes,
I enjoyed it thoroughly. That girl, Jenna Ortega, she's something else, dude. She makes that show. Would you agree, Matt?
Yes, I would.
JP, have you watched that one?
I've not watched that one yet. I'm not even done with Andor yet.
Oh, yeah.
Did Max tell you that I thought Andor ended and it turned out there were 2 more episodes? I thought it ended. I thought it would ended when they all jumped in the water.
Oh yeah, okay. That's as far as
I thought
am
that
now.
was the season finale.
You're like, yes.
And then
That was a
find
good- that
out
was a
2
good
weeks
show.
later, like, hey, did everybody watch the season finale? I was like, I did 2 weeks ago. Nope, fuck you, Lance. You're an idiot.
Fuck.
I just saw that episode too. I thought that was pretty damn good. That was that kind of was.
Doesn't it feel
Good.
like a season finale?
It does. It does
Yeah.
with them jumping off like that. Should be.
Fucking idiot, Lance. God damn it.
But yeah, Wednesday, like I was bummed I finished it, dude, because I wanted more. Like that, I really liked that show. But I kind of like the dark type shows, deal in the macabre. That show has lots of it.
But all right, well, I think that's where we're gonna end this week. So JP can get to packing for his con adventures tomorrow. Make sure to check us out over on Saturday Night Special tomorrow night. Make sure to go check out last week's Saturday Night Special. We had an awesome interview with Scott Lobdell. Super good interview with him. talking all things comics, X-Men, Red Hood and the Outlaws, Teen Titans, all good things. She's 20, huh?
Yeah,
We're gonna have
she's
this
not
conversation.
underage.
All right.
I'm not a creep.
Well, remember to treat your balls and everyone else as you deck your halls with Manscaped, and 20% off. Use code Geeky Podcast to check out for free shipping. And for this week's episode of the Absolute Geek Podcast, I'm Matt.
I am Lance.
I'm JP.
And big shout out to everyone in the chat. Leftovers.
Happy
Aggie,
holidays.
Boy, Joe's Doolin, my beautiful wife, Aaron, Hartman, just Stumbling Jedi, just everybody in the chat, man. So
we owe it all to you guys.
Good for all.
Yeah, you guys are the
coming out.
reason that we show up every week.
Yeah.
Except
make
one
sure
of
to
the
check out
weeks we don't
SNS
show up.
tomorrow night, and we'll see you guys right back here next week with a brand new episode of the Absolute Geek
Peace out.
Podcast. See ya.
All you freaks and geeks.
Come all you freaks and geeks. Let's listen to Absolute Geek.
Absolute geek.
We'll go ahead and spread our cheeks
Spread the cheese.
and drink
And
some
we're for
Cosby wine.
We'll
Come
drink
on,
some
you
Cosby wine. It makes me feel real fine. See you next time on